Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Hey, here we are.
Today's Kool-Aid flavor of choice is?
That's yesterday's.
It's yesterday's.
Yeah,
Oh, we need a fresh
another
one.
Give me another one. Rotate that one.
Pull it out like a lottery number. Oh, green.
And the Powerball number is 00652. If you have this number, you are the winner. Green apple.
Ooh.
Green apple.
Don't sleep on green apple. I like sour.
Listen, green.
It's nice.
I could never drink green apple Ciroc again.
I tell you what, if the Browns,
If you have a bad experience?
Bad experience.
if the Browns win these next two games, I'm literally going to drink some
apple?
Kool-Aid on the set.
I think we'll all be drinking
Well, the Browns
Kool-Aid
are
if they
favored
beat-
this week. I mean, it's not like
This
you
week.
know.
I'm more worried about San Francisco than I am Baltimore.
I mean,
You overlooking stuff.
I'm
Can't
just saying.
overlook
Look. That's
No,
a
you
rookie,
cannot overlook
rookie
Baltimore.
mistake.
But if you had to look at the next two, that's the one that
By the
really
way, I got a
scares
couple
me.
of quick shout-outs.
Shout them out.
Shout out to
the butcher.
my dental hygienist. She cleaned my mouth this morning. Kristen is getting married in a couple of weeks.
Oh, good for
so
her.
Congratulations to her. She's been my hygienist for years.
Are you invited?
She's great. No, I'm not, but I wasn't planning to be.
You are now. You just gave her a shout out.
No. I know. But congratulations to her. And congratulations, or not congratulations, but shout out to Nick, who was another customer at the dentist who saw me and goes, "Out of the ball! I love Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show." He just started screaming. He was very excited. But
Was he on laughing gas or was that pre-laughing gas?
No, he was pre-laughing gas.
Okay, very
but
good.
But one other thing, and this is serious. I'm not joking here. My life flashed before my eyes today, and it sounds like I'm joking. I'm really not. I was a block away from my house. I'm at a light, and the light turns green. And usually I'm pretty heavy on the gas as soon as the light turns green.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I paused a second. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something coming. And this flatbed truck carrying mowing equipment went right through the red light in front of me. I don't know what happened. Had I gone when that light turned green, I don't know if I'd be dead, but I might be because he would have hit
T-boned
me.
on the driver's side.
He would have T-boned me. Yes, no
That's
doubt.
scary.
I would have, very minimum, been seriously hurt, and my car would have been totaled.
Wow.
Guy, it wasn't like he barely made, it was a clear.
Do you believe in divine intervention? How do we explain this?
I don't believe.
The Lord was good. We'll take credit
I don't
for
believe
it,
in that, but I
Maybe
think
you should.
what it did for me is it made me think about some of the small stuff that I sweat, and I think I was aggravated about something that wasn't that important this morning. And it totally went away because it put everything in perspective. My life could have been over this morning.
Well, we're glad that you saw it coming.
But it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't know what this guy was thinking.
It was a sixth sense that kicked in.
I
for
guess.
You.
I don't know. But so don't sweat the small stuff. I'm as bad as anybody on that. But
Yeah. No, that's a good rule to live by,
Yeah.
Bull. The small stuff won't kill you. Death by 1,000 cuts, worrying about all that stuff.
Yeah, right,
Will take its toll over time.
Exactly.
Busy show today.
Yes.
DJ Hazmat is going to unveil his world premiere, or has he already dropped it?
I think he's dropped it.
He dropped it.
Okay.
But
I'm
it's a
hoping
banger.
he showed some good love to Deshaun Watson. I bet he did.
He does.
Yeah, I mean, he was so super critical of Deshaun
Deservedly
Watson
so.
after the Pittsburgh loss.
Yes.
Deservedly so. But what I like about Hazmat is he keeps it 100, as he says.
100 all the time.
I'm gonna praise him when he's great, and I'm gonna knock him when he's bad. And so
Yeah,
far,
I'm looking forward
he's
to
kept
hearing
good on
it.
that. Elijah Moore, how do we get more out of this guy? I know he's had a lot of catches, but Tyvis said he was the key to this offense. We're going to revisit those
Get
comments.
the camera off me, Steve.
Now you want to be sitting on the wing chair, don't you?
I was gonna boycott today and do it from behind the glass, but I thought that would be wrong.
Yeah, I think Tyler said
petty.
we don't need DeAndre Hopkins. We have Elijah Moore.
I
That's what
never
he said.
said that. That's not what I said.
You said he was the most important
receiver
on the team. You
on
said
the
that.
team.
It's 3 games.
Okay,
That's true.
we'll give you a chance to double down or back off.
Yeah.
That's coming up later in the show. Leroy Horde with his thoughts on the big Week 3 win. True or false? Where will the belt land this week? Bulls won one this season.
Where is the belt?
Tyvis has won one this season. Bro, we got to get off
This
the
is the first time all four of
We
us
gotta
have
get
been.
this
I think it'll be. I think it'll
Right.
be a
because
good.
Tyvis wasn't
Jason-
here last week.
We got to get this money together.
Right.
And I was I did mine
weren't there the
remotely
first
last
week.
time.
Yeah. So we'll
anyway.
see what happens with all of that.
I got it right now. Jay's going to be last to get the belt.
I don't care. I got something far more important. Something that you truly earn with skill, not luck.
What is that?
That's coming up later in the show, too.
Are you saying there's no skill involved in true or false?
What?
Are you saying there's no skill involved in true or false?
It is all luck.
All?
I think 99% of it's luck. These questions, we have no way of knowing the answers
I'm saying
to these
95%
questions.
luck.
95% luck.
Wait a
Why
minute.
that?
You be knowing the answers.
No, I don't.
You be sitting there like, oh, I did a piece on this. Oh, I know this.
Well, sometimes.
Once in a while.
Okay, stop it.
Got him.
Got me.
Maybe it's 90% luck.
But first, our
Yeah,
first
it is.
hello of the day to the vertebrae of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. The man, the myth, the legend, Mikey McNuggets.
Thank you, Jay. And we have a full house today. I want to give a shout out to Director Steve's two brothers who are in the house today.
Yeah.
One has been here before. The other is making his UCSS studio debut
Beautiful.
from California. There's Jim
Wow, very nice.
and Dave, and that is DeJuan from IT upstairs. His
No,
brother
yeah, his
Daryl.
There you go.
Daryl from Euclid.
Don't
said
do me
that
dirty
is
like that.
DeJuan,
Well, I was setting him
his
up.
brother
it's
from
Daryl.
IT
Daryl has the
upstairs.
voice of an angel, by the way. He's not mic'd up here.
the voice
We're
of
gonna
God.
actually have Daryl do some voiceover stuff for behind the glass promos. If not today, in the near future. So
Well,
that's coming. So shout out
What
to
we
you guys
should
for
do
coming in here.
is make parody promos and use as our official voice of the parody promos our voice of God, Daryl.
Yeah, it's Morgan Freeman-esque, in all honesty.
It's
it
incredible.
Really is.
It's incredible.
I do
People
have
hear him on
one-
the street. They don't know who he is. They see him. They hear his voice, and they say, "What station are you on?"
Yeah, right.
You know, in a world, he could be the movie promo guy. He could be that guy.
I do have one update for everybody from yesterday, though, and this is something we promised, and if you took advantage of it, good for you. If you didn't, you missed out. The DoorDash offer that we offered yesterday, and we said that was too good to be true.
50%.
Turns out it was too good to be true. Lockdown has come back and amended the offer. So let me tell you what the new Lockdown offer is for
pulled their
DoorDash.
offer.
Are you kidding me?
Let me tell you what the new Dash
Did you just say they amended the offer?
amended.
I should have put an order in yesterday.
So now,
I thought
if
about
you
it.
use promo code LOCKED on DoorDash, you still get 50% off,
Okay.
up to $20.
All right,
Up to
because
20
that
bucks.
was the key part that
That
was
was
missing.
our-
Because
we about
I
to-
asked McNuggets, if I order $800 of tacos, I'm getting them for $4 bills, and you said I have to check on that.
Yeah, well.
Well, it was right yesterday. So if you ordered $800 of tacos yesterday,
Oh
you got to
my
have.
God.
They literally have amended the rights to the agreement and the ad read.
You
So
know
now
what?
it is
You
up
know
to
what?
$20.
All
right.
That's the
McNuggets.
power, though, of UCSS, because people must have took advantage of it.
And they said, "This
and
is
they were
killing
like,
us."
what kind of deal do we get ourselves into? So shout out to you for ordering DoorDash yesterday.
No,
using
I
promo
ordered
code
DoorDash, but what I
LOCKED.
did is I signed up using Tyvis's email. I was grubbing.
What did you order? I want to live vicariously through
And
you.
I had the whole spread. I ordered, and I went to a Jamaican spot. I had oxtails. I had peas and rice, cabbage. I had baby back ribs.
Did you get the
smothered
jerk chicken?
Listen, the jerk was already on deck. That's what I went for.
Speaking of jerk chicken, we got to get your boy Amari in here.
Y'all
Next
been
Friday.
playing around. Listen,
Next Friday.
Is that today? Amari's probably watching.
Thursday, no, we got a TV
Hey.
show Friday on Thursday.
Does he smoke them? How does he cook them?
He won't tell me.
Okay,
He
we have
smokes
a
it.
grill upstairs.
He
that
smokes it
we
to the
use for our
bone.
Well, he
tailgate
need to
parties.
do it on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yes,
we can
It's me
enjoy it.
being 50%
It's
Jamaican.
always about time.
I feel like
Yeah,
I
see
should
how
get
you
some of
want-
this jerk chicken.
Oh, it's crazy. It'll
I'm
change
just
your life.
saying.
What, you McNuggets will
I'm like the
what day?
ultimate tester. Like
If Tyvis is here on Wednesday, we could do Wednesday.
thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
If he needs
A grill?
a grill, we do have a grill upstairs
Love
that
it.
Herbie always uses for our Channel 3
That'd
tailgate
be dope.
parties.
Do it.
Somebody say we with Jay. You know he got the hook up. You know.
Yeah, we gonna.
Got the
I'll
ribs.
talk
Hook
to him
you up.
now. I'll talk to
Jay
him
got
now.
the biggest desk upstairs
Hey,
too. I got
hey.
to visit his desk. It's bigger than everybody's.
Listen. This is what Tyvis did last week. He was
You got a bigger
upstairs.
desk than Russ Mitchell?
He sat at my
Got a bigger
desk,
desk than me too.
put his feet on my desk, took a picture of himself, absolutely violating my desk, and then he said, "Don't say it." And then he said on the text to me, "I did such a good job breaking down those videos on UCSS. They done give me a desk upstairs."
It was a nice desk. It was such a nice gesture of
I
theirs.
will say there was one of our lovely young ladies who is
Yeah.
a Channel 3 employee who might have been in the vicinity of all that.
Yeah, it was a couple of
Yeah,
them around.
when I came upstairs, she said, "Did you know that man that was sitting at your desk earlier?"
Oh, she was scared.
I thought that's where it was going. No. You're dead wrong. I said,
Oh.
"Yeah, I do." She goes, he seems like the most pleasant, likable human being on the planet.
Here, look at it.
And I said,
and Jay
he
hates
is.
me. Jay, there's two people on this set that hate me. Jay and director Steve can't stand me for somebody reason. I don't know what Steve's vendetta is. Steve's mad at me because I'm the best athlete he's ever seen in his life, and he has not one athletic bone in his body. That's what it is.
You gotta watch out.
Look.
You gotta look. Hey, listen.
Can we keep that the rest of the show, Director Steve?
Tyvus is out of pocket right now.
I'm gonna tell you what. You gotta stop messing around with people. They about to plant drugs on you.
Steve, yeah, you better watch out. Steve, can we
Where
get
does
that shout out?
marijuana come from, Tyvus?
We need a Tyvus close-up. He's never looked better, you guys.
Well, man, he's looking
I
sterling.
mean, you have never looked
That's
better.
fine. They can hear me. He can't stop me.
Barbara
from hearing
Walters
me.
used to demand a little Vaseline be smeared on the lens so it smoothed out all the wrinkles. This was pre-4K.
That's
Oh
crazy.
my gosh.
Yeah, no, that's deep. That's next level
crazy.
diva right there. Tyvus demands
Steve said this is Tyvus's close-up.
Take Tyvus's camera.
See what I'm saying? I don't know what his
So
deal
from now
is.
on,
Start with him,
Well,
to be fair.
He starts with me every day.
Hey, this is a you-know-what busting community.
Yeah, it is. It's a
you know
locker
that.
room.
That is true.
Yeah.
And someone can't handle the locker room environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. Obviously.
If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
Hey,
I'm going to be like Anthony. Nobody says nothing to Anthony.
Yes, we do. We bust Anthony
His
chops all the
nickname
time.
is Anthony Cantaspelli,
He can't spell.
and he makes all our graphics.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Anthony.
Tyvus, just because you're only here 2 days a week, I'm here 5.
Yeah.
So.
Can't dispel it.
Oh,
This is a full-time job for some.
They try to get on your
He got
hours,
his Kool-Aid
bro.
Mafia
Coming
sweatshirt.
from, yo, listen. Let's get into
Let's
the
get to
first
the topic.
topic.
Yeah,
We've
let's do
got
it.
a jam-packed show, as Jay alluded to,
We do.
and the
Yeah.
first topic is something we definitely have to hit on. It involves Lamar Jackson, the focal point of the
back.
Baltimore Ravens offense, and that's really where our Week 4 coverage begins. How the heck should the Browns game plan to stop number 8?
You're the defensive genius here.
Well, I think that if I was going up against Lamar, what makes Lamar so dangerous is the ability to use his legs. So as great as our pass rush has been, it has been times where they've been flushed out of the pocket and it has created some lanes. You can't do that with Lamar because he's very dangerous with that. So if you're going to rush, I'm not saying rush. You do your best pass rush, but you cannot open up lanes. You have to rush together. I think this game is a big game for Dalvin Tomlinson and Jordan Elliott and whoever is at the defensive tackle. Yeah. Because if you can get that push from down the middle, that's hard to deal with as a quarterback, having your center or your guard in your lap. And if you try to escape, now you got Zadarius on the outside and Myles, so there's really nowhere to go. You want to make Lamar become a pocket passer in this game. And if he beats you with his arm, then you can salute to that. But you cannot. As much man-to-man coverage as we run, you cannot let him get outside that pocket and beat you with his legs because it'll be a long game.
It's a tricky situation because this is the first different quarterback. The Browns haven't faced an athletic quarterback.
No.
The most athletic quarterback they faced so far was Burrow, and he's nowhere near the athlete that Lamar is.
9 rushing yards.
And he was, dealing with an injury and bad weather. Yeah. So they haven't dealt with the last 2 weeks. They've faced guys who who don't move at all. But the Browns have to be who they are, G. Do you expect them to change a lot of what they do? Because you're talking about playing differently. And
I'm not saying playing differently.
But they've been playing very free and easy, and
you
it's
have
worked.
to be very weary of how you rush.
If
you get too far up the field and create the lane, he's gone.
Yeah.
But then again, Lamar Jackson under pressure has been known to panic and make mistakes. And if your linebackers can clean up and tackle as they have the last few weeks,
I would send the pressure. I would send it down the middle. I would send the pressure down the middle.
How important are the linebackers in a game like this?
Well, it depends on what the coverage is. If we're in zone, which usually when you go up against a scrambling quarterback, you're in zone so everybody can see the quarterback. Because if you're in man, your back's turned to him, he can take off running, nobody see it. What Mike Vick did.
Yeah. So expect less man this game.
I do.
Okay.
I do because he's that dangerous. But linebackers, if you got a spy, usually you put that spy on the guy, and you do that. If you're gonna put a spy on, then you're free to let your rushers do whatever they want to do. Because they'll flush him out the pocket and he'll just clean it up. Wherever he goes, that linebacker just follows him.
Do they have that guy on this roster that can babysit Lamar Jackson and contain him? And who is it if they have him?
You know who would be actually a decent guy at this? And they're going to call me crazy. JOK.
Yeah,
he's
I thought
athletic
so.
enough.
Best
He's
athlete
athletic
at
enough to
linebacker.
get it done.
Right.
See, you've studied this
Yeah,
defense
so
more than
I've
anybody
already
here.
studied
Go
the
ahead.
game tapes.
Yeah.
I've already
Yeah.
talked to Jim Schwartz on the phone multiple times, and I just let you guys go because this is what they call crowd control. See right here, everybody was waiting to see what I was going to say. Tyvus, why would I come out here and just saw Lamar Jackson play horrible against the Colts, and I come out here with one of the best defenses that we've ever had, and I'm going to switch it up?
That's right.
For who? Not for Lamar Jackson. And maybe if it was Patrick Mahomes, and we don't even really respect that. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do if we play Patrick. See, sometimes you don't need to stay in your rush lanes. You know why? If he's a right-handed quarterback, go back and watch the film against the Colts. He gets rushed to the left side. He scrambles out to his left-hand side, right? So that means he's a right-hand quarterback. If he has his throw against his body, there's no way he's completing those passes. And he turned the ball over at the end of the game doing that. Right to the left-hand side, throw him against his body. You don't need to rush him that way. All you got to do is put Myles Garrett on that opposite end and rush him right to his right hand. He can't throw over there. And plus, what's even more dangerous and devastating is when you do have a spy like JOK that's sitting there waiting for you to rush that way, and he meets you at the junction point. See, the best thing about chaos is this. It works in regular life, in real life, in football. Chaos don't really care where you split to, right? He ain't got time to think about a rush lane where he's going to go to because he got somebody in his face over here. He got somebody over there coming to get him. He got somebody looking directly at him, mirroring every movement. He does not have a processor like that. The Lamar Jackson is a quarterback that need to see it come open.
That's right.
And then throw it. By that time, we'd already been hit home, and you ain't got that much time to be doing that. I want to. This is the type of quarterback you want to play because he'll throw you 3 or 4 picks when he's under duress.
And if you look at what the Browns have done, part of the reason, obviously, they have way better talent, they have way better coaching. But another part of the reason why they've had so much success so far is because they're confusing the offenses they're facing.
Right.
And as G said, he's 100% right. Lamar is not the quickest figure-outer, if you will, of defenses. And if you play conservatively against Lamar, you're playing into his hands. I think if you don't play aggressively, I think you got to stay aggressive like they've been and continue to try to confuse him. And even if he because when he gets out of the pocket, if he runs and you don't get there, it's a problem.
Yeah,
we all get it.
You got to tackle him.
Yeah, if you miss a tackle, you miss one tackle, it could be 80 yards.
He's the hardest quarterback in my view in the league to tackle.
Sure,
You know what to be perfect? Well, actually, this sound. If you remember, how they put Myles at that stand-up D tackle position.
Yeah,
I think this would be probably one of the best games you do.
You'd expect to see that
because
a lot.
if you got Za'Darius and double O on the outside, and now you got Myles bringing the pressure on the inside.
Go back and take a look at that Miami Dolphin game a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, when they played cover zero the whole
Brian
night.
Flores had the whole, and at that time, Lamar Jackson was rolling. Offense looked great. Brian Flores comes over with the Dolphins, says, "Well, do you want better? We're gonna stand everybody up." So now you got to pick where the blitz is coming from every single play.
Every single play they were in his
aggressive
grill all night.
That's what you got to do.
I need to go back and see
they played cover zero. Can the Browns play a cover zero?
Yeah, if G New is healthy.
And yesterday, I think Mary Kay said
he was trending in the right direction. But she also said that they might just decide to sit him out because of the bye next week.
Yeah.
To give him 4.
But he didn't he tweet that he wanted to come back this week?
He said
he
wants
Baltimore week.
He wants to, of course. But the doctors
obviously
have to say
how things go over there. We know that if a player wants to play, they're gonna play.
We
watched that 2 years ago.
I find it interesting that your approach is slight change of what we're doing, not so aggressive.
That.
You're saying no. We're going to put our best out on the field with what they do best, and we're going to match it up against their best and see who wins. It's almost like a power pitcher trying to throw it by a power hitter.
No. I didn't say to change what you're doing. I said that don't open no lanes. That's what I said.
Yeah, but is that what they've been doing so far, the first 3 games?
They've lost.
It was a bit helter-skelter, and they come from everywhere. Can they do that on Sunday?
All I'm going to tell you is me and G had this conversation where he was like, it's like, yeah, in Jim Schwartz's defense, they don't care about contain. And I said,
They don't.
I've never heard. Okay, that's a problem.
I've heard
against
that
this
too,
guy.
and I think it's a problem
That's
as well.
a problem.
Because someone's going to expose that.
Well, here's the thing. if think about it like this, the reason why I say this is brilliant because he's right. Like when you statistically look at the numbers of right-handed quarterbacks and where they throw the football, most quarterbacks are right-handed. If you let them run to their left, to find somebody deep downfield, it's almost impossible to throw backside. But if you let them roll to their strong arm, they can look backside, they can look front side, they can throw against the grain, they can throw down on the sideline. So here's the thing, if you give them an opportunity, and especially for a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, we saw what Deshaun Watson looked like when a quarterback gets frustrated and is not able to do what he does best.
Right.
So when you look at him and he getting sacked and he's looking around, he's not going to be looking down the field to throw and get guys open and catch. He's looking to get out to make first downs. Because one thing about Lamar Jackson that you look at Ryan Tannehill and some of those other other quarterbacks, how frustrating it is to go back to the sideline and tell your receivers, I didn't see you or I didn't have time, and you got 3, 4, 5 first downs. Yeah. In his mind, he gonna say, "Forget all that. I gotta get it where I can get it."
That's a fact. Yeah. I need to know what coverage they playing behind all
0.
So you playing man?
I seen him play man against the best receiver.
Wait. You're saying they're not good enough to play man?
They did that against the Bengals.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
You just don't advise it.
All I'm telling you is, you better get there. You playing 0 against a scrambling quarterback. You better not miss. If you miss, we talking not a 10-yard.
Now you're chasing a chicken.
We talking a 30-yard, and this is Lamar. We talking about.
You guys have said a couple of times, well, somebody's going to eventually, figure it out or whatever.
Sure.
Like I feel like the Browns have for 2 decades have played scared. They played afraid of the other team, and right now they're playing not scared of anybody.
No,
and they shouldn't be scared of anybody. And Jim Schwartz is like, I'm going to do whatever the hell I'm going to do, and you know what? If Baltimore figures it out and has success, well, he's been coaching for 100 years. He'll change. Yeah. Unlike we've seen in the past where there's been no ability to, things are not going right, we need to adjust. Well, he'll adjust if he has to. But why do it preemptively before anybody proves they can beat it?
Yeah, play your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, you built this defense to be a certain kind of defense. It's worked so far, so keep trying it. One of the things that I wanted to discuss was, and I don't know that it means that much, against Kevin Stefanski, when Lamar has started and finished the game, Lamar is 4-0.
Yeah.
The Jim Schwartz number is too small to make anything of it.
There's only one game.
He's 1-0 against Jim Schwartz defense. So, do you make anything out of that at all?
I mean, the 4-0 means something, right? I mean, if we're going to talk about the Bengals versus
Browns, but how
all
much
the
has
time,
Stefanski even been involved in the defense?
Well,
from day one.
But they're 4-0 again. It has nothing to do with. But I'm saying they've lost to the Ravens in all those games. It's not just the Ravens' offense.
Of course not.
It's also the Ravens' defense.
But it does indicate that Lamar's had a measure of success.
Yes.
Against.
But I think in the end, the Browns are a much better team than they've been in the last few years, or at least they should be. They are so far, and I think they will continue to be. They haven't had Deshaun Watson, and hopefully last week was what he's going to be again, which he was, and not just a blip. So I mean, I think it's meaningful a little bit, but not. It's not the end of the world.
What did the Colts do? Did you happen to watch that?
I watched the.
I was back and forth between the Colts. The Colts didn't do much.
So that's what, but they ended up winning that game.
They ran the ball very well.
They did.
I was talking defensively.
Oh, okay.
Defensively,
they didn't blitz a ton, which is a number I have for you guys.
No, they
real
didn't.
Quick,
Really.
What I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah.
I'm going to give you a comparison. I'm going to give you the Vikings first and then the Browns numbers.
Okay.
So through 3 games this season, the Vikings, according to Pro Football Reference, lead the NFL in percentage of pass plays in which they send an extra rusher. So blitzing. They blitz on 63% of pass attempts through 3 games. Wow. They've only gotten pressure on the quarterback 17% of the times, which means their blitzes have not been effective whatsoever. In comparison to Cleveland ranks 10th in the NFL this season in terms of sending an extra rusher. On 32.3% of pass attempts, they have sent a 5th extra rusher. They have gotten pressure on the quarterback at that exact same rate, 32.3%, which is tops in the NFL. So through 3 games, they blitz more than most, but not an extreme amount.
I think that's a telling stat. To me, it says he's comfortable with getting home with just 4. And why wouldn't he be? He's got guys on the line that can get home.
I also think if you look at it, the Bengal game and the Titans game,
That's very interesting because
he had big leads in both those games. So if you have a big lead and you got a lot of 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s, you're going to be aggressive coming at you. There's no reason not to. So I mean, to me, it feels like they're middle of the pack in terms of blitzing.
I know a guy who only have 4 guys rushing, was comfortable with that, and they ran him out of here. It's interesting.
Yeah, Joe Woods. You see,
Well,
But Davis, here's the difference. When he was doing it with 4, 2 of them should have been pumping gas.
right.
Oh, so
wait
it's
a
the
minute.
personnel.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
It's both.
No.
Here's why it's on Joe Woods. Here's why it's on Joe Woods. Listen, if you know you've got 2 guys who should be pumping gas on your line, why would you only rush 4? You need help to get home. It's like leaving a rookie left tackle naked on
Just
TJ
sounds like
Watt
it. Just
when he
sounds
should be
like
getting
to
some
me.
chipping help.
It sounds like to me the Browns should have did better getting them the personnel. in there.
No, but
Yeah,
Tyvus,
but adjust what you're doing.
Well, wait a second. They are through 3 games, 10th. They are blitzing a lot more.
Yeah, because with Joe Woods, they never blitzed.
I tell people all the time, this is my claim to fame. I say, listen, you could be a company guy if you want to. Everybody don't work their jobs, and you come in, they hype you up. Yeah, we love you. You're going to come in and change things. You go in, they promise you incentives. They promise you overtime to pay your guys, training, all this other stuff. You get here 2 weeks in, they say, we don't got the budget for that training package. 3 weeks later, what about the incentives I was going to give for these extra overtime? Yeah, we don't got that either. And you say, okay, fine, because you knew. And then guess what? They bring you in another year later, and your little review and say, well, you know what, Garrett? we just didn't get what we wanted out of you. We thought you were going to come make a really big change.
But they never gave you the tools.
You didn't give me the tools. Yeah. I asked for you. You lied to me. But here's the problem. I didn't speak up. Joe Woods knew they was garbage. He saw them every day. He knew they was terrible. Why would you sit there and let them be garbage, and then you keep going to work and you getting blitzkrieged out here? You're getting destroyed.
Well, everybody knows that I do post-game show, and like I said, Grant Delpit had the most interesting comment in the post-game show. They was like, yeah, Grant, the defense has been looking really good. How much do you credit that to Jim Schwartz? He said, well, I can tell you the difference is I know he knows what he's doing. I said, good night.
Making an argument for Joe Woods
good night.
Stupid.
I know, but he's on that.
It's not just about
all
the
I said was
personnel.
the guy that was there last year rushed 4 too. That's all.
Yeah,
I
but
said.
he's
not
not
rushing
rushing
forward.
more. He
The
needed to
Browns
rush
are
more.
10th, but the Browns
all
are
I'm
not
saying
rushing
is that-
just 4.
Do
They're 10th in blitz percentage.
Do we not realize that a lot of this secondary is a lot of these what we running like coverage wise is the same stuff?
It's about what's happening up front.
Different.
Tell me about it.
Because
but it's not just up front.
But tell me about it.
But see, Tyvus, the point that I think you're missing is you're saying, well, Joe did the same thing last year.
No, he didn't.
But Joe just had a bunch of guys.
Well, wait a second.
Yeah, and that's
Wait
why
a second.
I stood up on this show and said, it's
Let
not-
Bull go because Bull's about to cook. Bull is about to cook.
Dude, you keep saying they're not blitzing. They are. They're 10th in blitz. They're not 25th. They're 10th. They are blitzing.
The Browns
number 1.
blitzed last
Number
year.
2.
No, they didn't.
No,
blitz
number
last
2.
year.
Yeah, they did.
Number 2.
Where were they last year?
I'll
Mikey?
get you last year's
Forget
numbers.
the front 4, which is obviously significantly improved talent, but playing better. You know what? For a second on the front 4, Myles Garrett is playing with a freedom and an excitement that we've never seen.
Right.
Never.
Ever.
As great as he plays.
That goes to the coordinator.
He
That
has
is a
never
fact.
played with this kind of intensity and energy and excitement and freedom. JOK, who looked like the worst football player on the planet last year,
said he should be cut.
looks like a good football, not just okay, looks like a good football player. And Grant Delpit, who granted started to improve late last year, has probably played his 3 best football games ever the last 3 weeks.
Of his life.
He looks like a superstar. Again, small sample size. I get it. We got to see it for longer.
So same personnel,
But come on.
different scheme, different philosophy.
Numbers?
All I said was he didn't have a pass rush.
Give me the numbers.
I got the numbers for you,
not.
Davis.
all I said.
So
Yeah.
last season, the Browns ranked 17th in blitz rate. They
Okay.
blitzed 22.9%, so 10% less than they are this year. But their pressure rate is where it gets staggering. They ranked near the bottom of the league in pressure rate, fifth to last at only 18.2% compared to 32.3% this year.
And sometimes it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Johns and the Joes.
It's always a combination. You know that.
And sometimes
that's all I'm saying.
And one guy lets your best player play basketball over the center. I ain't see hooping last year. They let the dude run across the line of scrimmage, and he sits in his coach laughs.
Yeah.
Look at my guy out there destroying.
Let me ask you this. If Jadeveon Clowney had said to Jim Schwartz, "I'm not playing except on third down," what do you think Jim Schwartz would have done?
Then you're not playing at all.
Cutting.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see you. We'll see you.
I don't think
But
he
you know
would say
what?
that.
Go pack your
That's
locker.
probably true.
I asked this. We're going to bring Leroy in 1 second. I asked this question last year, and I'll ask it again. And I don't know what Clowney's done this year. I haven't looked at his numbers.
Nothing.
1.5
No.
sacks. 1.5 sacks.
Okay, so that's
That's
not
not bad. That's
What
not
I asked last year, and you guys were like, "No, that's not possible." What I asked was, is it possible, even though his methodology was flawed, because I didn't like the way he aired the dirty laundry, but I had said after Schwartz came in, I said, is it possible that Jadeveon Clowney was right? And it looks more and more likely now that he was.
Well, we worry
Right about what?
Well, his beef at the end of the year, he was complaining about the defense and how they were using him, more importantly, how they were using Myles Garrett. And no one liked the way he went about it. And I'm not excusing that, and I'm not trying to say that was the right methodology, because I didn't like it. You can't go to the media and air the dirty laundry that he did. But his complaints about what was going on last year seemed to be rooted in some sort of fact.
I don't know. Once you refuse to go in for a play, I don't have any interest in what you have to say.
I get that,
Yeah.
and that's in a vacuum
Are
of
you
what I'm asking.
you saying that they tailored it for Myles?
No, what I'm saying is he clearly didn't like the defense. There were a lot of guys that didn't like the defense. Take Grant Delpit. I didn't hear that comment. That comment from Grant Delpit
that's what he said.
is
I
the
was
biggest
like,
indictment
shit.
from inside the locker room that I've
Yeah.
heard yet on Joe
I was
Woods.
in the radio station like, wow,
He came at him with both barrels. All right, Mikey.
We got to bring in Leroy. Before we do, I want to remind everybody, and I especially want to remind Bo to please hit that retweet button, that tonight at 7 o'clock, Behind the Glass is coming back for its next episode.
Now I'm not going to do it because you guys like it. You guys are all out of pocket.
Like it.
You're out of pocket, the three of you.
Joe's going to like
just
it.
like it.
We're going to answer some behind-the-scenes questions about UCSS. We put a poll up on our YouTube page. If you have any behind-the-scenes questions, you could ask him there. We're going to answer them on the show. Plus, we'll break down the Browns-Titans game, start looking ahead towards the Browns-Ravens game, and answer everything else in between. And with that,
Hold on. Before we get to
we also
that.
got the barbershop. That's the next read, though.
Listen, we gonna
Barbershop's
plug
coming.
that immediately. I'm first.
The barbershop's at 4. Behind the Glass is at 7.
There you go.
And right now
So wait, you're their
is
warm-up act?
Leroy Horde.
I gotta eat first.
I'm glad that they're not competing no more.
What's up, Leroy?
I hate to tell y'all, but Tyvis is right
Oh,
about it's the same guys except for 2 players, and that's those 2 tackles.
Well, let's not
You
act like
change-
they're insignificant.
And Zadarius
No,
Smith.
but hold on. You change the pressure you get up the middle, and everything else seems more disruptive. Last year they got no pressure up the middle, so Myles and Jadeveon could go as wide as they want, and all the quarterback had to do was step up. You know, when the other team ran the ball, they ran right up the middle. You pretty much take your 2 defensive players out of the game. Now, I will say this. One of the things that annoyed me, and
Anthony
I've said
Walker
this,
wasn't there last year.
I will say this. One of the things that annoyed me
Got hurt
last
early.
year, and I said this over and over again, when you have a player like Myles Garrett, you move him around and create mismatches with everybody on that offensive line. They never moved him. And now they're moving him around and the offense don't know what to do. Because not only do you have to deal with Myles Garrett, but the other guys are bringing the heat. That's where your team is different. So whether it's with blitzing or whatever, it starts with those front 4 and what they've done and what they are doing these first 3 weeks have made all the difference in the world in that defense. And I would even go a step further and say the pressure that you're getting up the middle is changing the way we look at this defense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair, but
I'm not sure how that's you're agreeing with Tyvus's point was that
Joe Woods was fine.
No, that's not what I.
No.
My point is that he
he's
didn't
saying
have
it's
the personnel.
He's saying that you could get on the coach all you want, and there's some blame to go there too, because his job is to get the most out of the players he has.
Right.
And lining up guys and just having them play football when you know damn well you can't get a rush up the middle, that's on the coach. But I'm also saying those guys weren't as good as the guys they have this year.
Yeah, sure.
And it gives the new defensive coordinator a lot more flexibility, knowing that when we start every play, we know we're gonna get some pressure up the middle.
Yeah. What changed with Deshaun Watson? What was the change in this game when he played his best from what you were seeing in the other games?
Time. He just looked comfortable, right? He looked comfortable. Some would say that he didn't have the pressure of having to get the ball to Nick Chubb. You know what I mean? You could say that, but I would just say Deshaun Watson, for the first time as a Cleveland Brown, looked comfortable playing quarterback. And we knew it was going to come. We knew eventually he was going to get back to playing the type of quarterback. That stuff just don't go away, right? But you just didn't know when. There's no test to say how long it takes a quarterback to get in rhythm after not playing football for a year. There's no test. You know, you've been out with injury. That's different. That was different than this. That man had not only not playing football, he had a little weight on his head. So, I mean, it looks like, if I could say one thing that's different, he looked comfortable. He looked patient. His decisions were decisive. He made the throws that we all know he can make, and we were looking at going, oh, okay. And that's the Deshaun we've seen throwing the ball. And just everything seems to be working for him right now.
Leroy, let's talk. I want your take on the running backs and what we've seen. Obviously, the Nick Chubb devastating injury.
By the way, if I may.
Yeah.
And me and Tyvus already had this conversation. Ryan Clark and Minkah Fitzpatrick are explaining what it's like to play DB. And I get that. But what you're explaining does not match that damn play.
You thought it was dirty?
Here, you can call it what you want. It is what it is. But here's what happened. Nick Chubb was held up and turned so that he couldn't even see Minkah Fitzpatrick. He was faced damn near the other way because he was getting turned by somebody holding him up high. And Minkah Fitzpatrick went down low like a coward. When you hit somebody like that who can't see you, what do you call that? Okay? So you can put whatever twist you want on it. And I've said this over and over again. If it's me against you, you get me down however you can. That's on me. But if I'm being held up, how in the hell can every other player in the NFL have protections for that type of play right there, except the damn running back, and then say, oh, it was legal? Really? Really? We took that away from D linemen. You can't get cracked back. You can't just, defensive backs can just run around the field and look all pretty and wave to their mom. Can't nobody knock the hell out of them. And you say you don't have any protections as a defender? No, that's the only play right there that is a defenseless player and he has no protections. So you look at the play, you listen to them explain the play, talking about, oh, he got to get Nick Chubb down however he can because that dude is a beast. Really? In that situation, he's a beast? Not looking at you and you go low? I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. The explanation of what happened and what they're explaining and what happened on that play don't match. And you can say what you want about it. You can say what you want about it. But just look at the tape. And you tell me how in the hell could Nick Chubb protect himself?
He couldn't. It was impossible.
Right.
You know,
he couldn't because he was turned.
Leroy, when I first saw it, I thought it was a dirty play, and then I had Tyvis and another defensive, or actually two other defensive players, tell me it wasn't dirty. But
no,
Tyvis,
you know what's interesting?
It wasn't dirty to me, but go ahead.
I told you and the group in the
Offense versus
in the
defense.
moment. I sent about 12 to 15 texts to former players asking the exact same question. And to me, the split was the offensive players hated it, and the defensive players were making excuses for it.
Yeah.
And I did see Ryan Clark's defense of it, and I'm with you. What Ryan was explaining was not what happened on that play.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I don't know what happened.
Exactly.
I ain't see where,
you know what? I'm a defensive guy, and I never thought about it in that way because I'm a defensive guy. It's always hunt.
Yeah.
But he is correct. When I tore my ACL, I got cut by somebody that was coming in the line of scrimmage. It was a running back on a crackback. And I think they eliminated that play. You can't go low against somebody on the outside of the tackle box.
Yeah.
And it blew my knee out. And I never thought about it in a way of being a running back and you're turned held up defenseless because you're holding the ball and somebody come low. I would rather you come high and just wrap me up. I kind of changed my mind the way you explained it.
Here's another thing with that. Keep in mind, when you run the football, take it from me, I'm a fumbler. Okay? What they do is they hold you up, and then people come and snatch the ball, right? And they come try to get the ball. Now just imagine you trying to protect the ball, and then somebody take your knee out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he dove his whole body into him.
That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And by the way, it's off topic a little bit, but Minkah Fitzpatrick was hit with a helmet-to-helmet, and there were some that said they didn't think it was a penalty.
Yeah.
But in the Sunday night game, he led with his helmet on Jimmy Garoppolo.
Listen, at the very least, it was completely reckless. At the very least, right? I doubt Minkah Fitzpatrick was actively thinking, I'm gonna really hurt Nick Chubb here. Like he was purposely trying to give him a bad injury.
No, but he is the head of the beast.
He was very reckless.
Nick Chubb, though, is the head of the beast.
Yeah, again, at minimum, it was completely reckless. To throw your whole body into a guy's leg.
But to sit here and stand on your soapbox and say, what about protections for the defense?
Yeah.
You got. Let me tell you something. Defenders got a lot more protection than Nick Chubb.
That's true.
Right? We can't do nothing. We can't, and keep in mind, the one position on the football field that can't initiate contact. So is a running back, because he's getting hit on every play. People hit him to mess with him. People hit him to try to get him off his game. Whatever. I'm cool with that. Like that's the way it is. That shows your toughness. But at the same time, don't sit here and complain when half of the ways we used to knock y'all asses out has been taken out of the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can't
Right?
cut no more.
No,
You can't cut.
It's illegal.
You can't cut. You can't cut. I don't think a defender understands what cutting does to a player because they can't get cut anymore.
Hold on. I got cut before that. It messed me up for the rest of the game.
The rest of the
actually.
game?
Were you held up and cut?
No, I wasn't
Tom,
held up
were
because
you held up and cut?
I was free on a blitz off the edge, and I'm thinking me and this running back about to go head to head. That boy dropped low, and I flipped it on my neck. I said, for the rest of the game,
Again,
different, right?
But Travis, I started this off by saying,
Yep, he right.
if we one-on-one, all bets are off.
Right.
Okay? Because I can see you. You can see me. And I have at least a chance to protect myself. If you're more athletic and you get underneath me and you get my legs, so be it. Okay? My problem is when when Nick Chubb was being held up and turned so his back was facing Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Right.
How are you going to tell me that that's a legal play? And they say, oh, we brothers. I don't need no damn family like that.
Drop the mic.
I mean, Leroy's on point with this.
I agree with them. I know. I
think of it
it's
like
a
that.
great point.
felt that he was.
It's a great
I
point.
stand on my
Leroy,
statement.
on a lighter note, what do you think of what you? What do you think of what you've seen from Jerome Ford so far? What did you think of Kareem Hunt's first game back also?
Well, I figured Kareem Hunt and times we talk about, I'd say he get 5 to 10 carries, get his feet wet, put him in on some short yard stuff, let him just be a moose, right? And do what Kareem does. Kareem, it's pretty cool that you have the luxury of bringing a running back in and putting him in his same role that he was in when he left.
Right.
So that is a bonus right there, where a lot of things you don't have to get him caught up on. That being said, I've been impressed. You know, I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it because that's what I do. But part of the reason why they let Kareem Hunt go because of Jerome Ford.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
right.
right.
So when Jerome Ford goes in for Nick Chubb, there's a level of expectation you could have with him. And lo and behold, he took off. Right? So I think he can carry the load. I think they're gonna increase Kareem Hunt's production. But I think more importantly, it's the flexibility that you have to use them in a number of different ways. And I think that's the most important thing. That now you can still continue with your offense. You can still run the ball when you want to, because you don't feel that you don't have the people behind the quarterback that can't run. You know, so you can still run your offense, and I think that's the most important thing.
Leroy said he was a fumbler. You want to venture a guess how many times you put the football on the field as a running back in the NFL?
Man, let me see.
Wow.
Hey,
don't say double digits.
Hey, I'm hoping. I'm praying. Please, baby Jesus. I'm praying that it was less than my football number.
What?
You need more prayers.
Are you serious?
No. You think you fumbled it more than 30-something times? 30?
I have the number right here, Leroy.
Yeah.
What is it?
Courtesy of our EP, Steve Becker. You fumbled the ball 35 times in your career. 27 with the Browns.
Now, let's juxtapose that with Kareem Hunt, who's had well over 1,200 touches in his career. He's lost one fumble.
Yeah. Well,
That's amazing.
Let me tell you something. In fairness to me, put them big ass shoulder pads on Nick Chubb and see how he run around like a hermit.
You guys look like Megatron.
Hey,
Not to
mention
defend Leroy for a sec.
Leroy was
defend
allowed
you
to
for
be
a sec.
clotheslined and stuff. You know,
True.
they can't tackle the same way.
Let me defend Leroy real quick. Leroy, you made a Pro Bowl in 1994. Very impressive season.
Yeah.
You also led or had your career high in fumbles that year. You were so good as a runner that despite fumbling 8 times that season, you still made a Pro Bowl. You had averaged half a fumble per game and still were a Pro Bowl. That's why you're a favorite running back here.
So when Belichick came in, right, he brought me and Metcalf into his office. He said, Metcalf, you led the league in fumbles per touch. And so, you know, me and Metcalf boys, so I'm looking at him smiling and giggling. Shut up, Board, you were second. and so Bill, we would have conversations, right? Bill would say, you know, hey, look, you running hard. You know, I'll give you that. He said, you need to do more to protect the ball. Because I used to squeeze it so damn tight that the slightest of hit, it would squirt out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. They go, what are you doing? Protect the football. I'm like, I'm squeezing the hell out of it. Right? So he said, you got to do so. I tried to do the thing where you run with 2 hands and hold it, and it just looked clunky. He said, go back to the old way.
Speaking of fumbling the ball, what do you think of the Browns' third running back, Elijah Moore, taking carries?
Oof.
What's wrong? Don't do that. What's wrong with that?
Let me say this. That it's one thing to carry the ball, right? It's another thing to carry it like a running back, right? When you used to carrying it in space all the time, when you used to carrying it, you know, out in the open and you got time to protect yourself, when you in the mix, them hands and punches and swats at the ball coming from anywhere. And so it's different, and it's one of those things you got to get used to. You got to get used to it.
With Leroy, they didn't punch at the ball. They just took it.
My mom said,
Well,
look at
look at
Yeah, they just took it. I was like,
Hey, Sometimes you get got, man. I don't know. Like, everybody make it sound like it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like, look, there's a couple of buttons on my body. If you mash them, the last thing on my mind is holding on to that football. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people like that. You get Jesus! And then you get back to the sideline limping, your arm is sideways. Hold on to the ball. All right.
Leroy, left tackle. It's been a big problem. Jedrick Wills has been awful. They already gave him his 5th-year extension. You know, you're dealing with Conklin got hurt. DeJuan Jones has done a decent job. He seems to be getting better. He's a 4th round, 5th round rookie, whatever he was. 4th round rookie.
Go Bucks.
So I'm okay with that. But man, left tackle is such an important position. You talked about Deshaun played better because he had more time this week, and we've seen the numbers under pressure. His numbers under pressure, like many quarterbacks, are not good. How concerned are you about the left tackle spot right now?
I've learned a long time ago that you look at the offensive line as a whole.
All right.
Because they can run schemes to protect one guy, right? And sometimes you have to do that. And every when your offensive line is great, it don't mean every individual player is great. It means they play well together. And you got to, give it up for either the O-line coach or the offensive scheme or things like that. So I'm never going to say and point out one guy because the offensive line as a whole has done pretty good. And it would be tough to put it on one guy. Now, that being said, football is such that they'll find your soft spot. So you better be ready for it. If that's your weakest link, they're going to start doing things on that side of the ball to try to expose him. So he's going to have to get better. But as a whole, this is over the past 3 or 4 years have been one of the best run blocking offensive lines in the game. So I'm not going to just totally dismiss and say that they are all bad. Is there a couple of players that maybe need to improve on what they're doing? Of course. And I think that, sometimes we look at players and see their shortcomings, but we don't understand why, and we don't understand what the franchise or the team thinks of that player. Clearly, they think he can do it. So it's just a matter of getting him in the right positions to do it.
He's got the right coach to help him out. Hey, before we let you go, analyze the breakdown, the preview, Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns on Sunday. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for one thing, and I talked about it earlier, how impressed I am with that pressure up the middle, right?
Yeah.
And all I want to do is, listen, Lamar Jackson going to make some plays on you, right? But here's what you want. You want to put that heat on him up front so he looking at you. Mm-hmm. If he looking at you, he ain't looking down the field. And if he ain't looking down the field, he can't make as many plays. So you put pressure on him. You try to contain him. The thing is, I think they have enough speed to kind of get him sometimes and put him in bad positions. And put him in bad positions to make some throws that maybe you don't want to. I like when quarterbacks of that ilk, instead of running, they try to get rid of the ball quicker. Because you know what that is. That's the secondary's dream.
Sure.
Early pass, when the receiver ain't really ready, but you looking at the quarterback, or you looking down, in the backfield?
Jump
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So from that standpoint, it's all about how they're going to contain Lamar Jackson. I think what helps more than it has in the past is the pressure up the middle. Because now you put pressure up the middle, he don't have those lanes to go underneath the outside rushers. And it'll be interesting to see, okay, just from that standpoint, what kind of pressure they're gonna put on him. Are you gonna blitz him? Are you gonna try to play, more zone and dare him to pick you apart? Because I do believe of all the running quarterbacks, all the guys you say athletic quarterbacks, he is the best passer of the ball. And people don't give him credit for that. So he can throw the ball, but make him throw it on your terms. Don't make it throw in his terms. That means the quarterback get to sit back there with his jersey, get his uniform right, make a phone call, and then throw the ball to somebody down the field that's wide open because he's been running around for 5 seconds. Put some pressure on him. Put some heat on him.
Make him uncomfortable.
Make him uncomfortable, and then let's see if he got to go to the bathroom and make a boo-boo and then come back out and win the game.
All right, Leroy, as we all know, the biggest story in the NFL this week is Travis Kelce dating Taylor Swift. When you were playing for the Browns, did you ever date Pat Benatar? Did you ever date Madonna? Did you ever Donna Summer? The Pointer Sisters. Did you ever date any of them?
The Pointer Sisters. Ain't that old dog?
First of all,
yeah,
I played with a guy that dated Left Eye.
Andre Rudd.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So while you going back in the Wayback Machine, we already had that.
Disrespectful. That was kind of disrespectful.
I was just thinking of singers that popped into my head. I wasn't accounting for their age.
What kind of chatter was there in the locker room about that? None. You didn't care.
I mean, Andre Rison was, Dre was, he was his own dude, right?
Interesting guy.
He was an interesting dude, but nothing.
So none of that.
We went to Atlantic City. All of us went to Atlantic City. That was interesting.
Did you ever hang
Don't
out?
stop there. No.
What happened in Atlantic City?
What he did is he caught himself. He was getting ready to tell the story, and then he goes, well, that was interesting. What happened?
All right, so
Come on.
let me see how I can tell.
I knew it was good.
So we went. It was when we went to Baltimore. I knew some people in Atlantic City. They said, "Hey, we'll send you guys up some cars. We'll bring you down to Atlantic City. Y'all come have some fun or whatever. Welcome you to this part of the country." I was like, "Okay." So we got we had like 4 or 5 linemen, a couple of wide receivers, and then Dre. So they sent 4 cars. Dre say, "I need my own car." So me, I'm like, wait a minute, you a guest? You gonna have me jail? All right, Dre. You understand? You make exceptions for your boy, right? So we get to Atlantic City. It's about 8 of us. We all getting out of the car, and then Dre get out of the car. We look in the car. It's baby oil everywhere. Hey, it looked like the back of that limo looked like when you shine your tires. That's stuff on it. They get out. They look like they get ready to go to the beach and tan. I'm like, Dre. He said, "I don't want to talk about it." Like, you ain't got to talk. You ain't got to talk. I said, "You need to talk because otherwise I'm going to come to my own conclusion." So
That's crazy.
Man. So it's one of those things, man, that it's funny because the stories of the people that you played with or that you hung out with or whatever far exceed football, and I remember those stories more than when we actually played together.
Yeah.
We gotta get you on Vlad or something. We're gonna get the camera angle and just shoot it just like Vlad, and you gonna tell all the stories.
Leroy Hord's Story Hour.
Your stories is crazy.
Hey, we love you, brother. Wow, pick the winner real quick. Who wins? Real quick.
I'm gonna say Browns 24-20 because they're at home.
We'll take
Because
that
they're
every
at
day.
home.
All right, Leroy.
They're at home. All righty.
Very good.
There he is.
See you next week. The great
All right, brother.
Leroy Horde.
And he's been on fire.
Shut up, Horde. You're second.
He's been on,
Belichick
he's
story.
been on fire since this season, 2023.
Yeah, he's
Leroy,
3-0.
he ain't missed.
He's 3-0.
He ain't missed yet.
He had the Najee Harris as an averaging social distancing line, and then coming back at Minka Fitzpatrick. Leroy.
Wow, and the whole thing about Nick
The
Chubb.
Chubb,
and
the Chubb
that-
thing.
Yeah, that was fascinating. We got a couple more things to get
Please
to
let's
real
clip
quick
that
though.
and get that up
Reminder.
real soon.
Oh, that's going to blow up.
Yeah.
Next week, Monday, normal show 11 to 1, and then a live 2-hour Cavs Media Day show from 2 to 4. Myself, Brad, Earl. We'll have Jason Rocky,
Brad.
players.
Brad out of
galore.
mothballs.
The comeback of Brad, but we will be at
What?
Rocky Mortgage Fieldhouse
That's
2
brutal.
hours on the UCSS YouTube page. So make sure you guys check out 2 hours of Ravens Browns coverage after the show, your normal Victory Monday, hopefully, and then we will celebrate another dub, hopefully with a 2-hour Cavs special.
With a
big
special
day.
guest, Carmelo Anthony, with Brad, with there,
Hey,
on site.
As Brad would say, that's some BS right
That's
there.
some BS right there.
That's some BS right there. All right, let's talk about Elijah Moore. It's Tyvus's favorite player.
Whoa.
Self-professed man crush.
Whoa. No. My favorite player is 21. Denzel. That's
Oh,
my favorite
okay.
player on the Browns.
So,
Your Buckeye brother.
Go
so
Bucks.
how do you plan on walking this back? This was in the meeting.
Or doubling down.
Yeah, or are you going to double down on
Quote,
Giannis?
he's
Yeah.
the most important receiver on this team. So explain.
This is tough.
So this is what I would say.
Because we all thought it was Amari Cooper.
All right, so listen. I'm glad that the camera's open. Okay. I'm not wrong. But listen, hold on. I'm not wrong. I might have not been 100% right, but I'm not 100% wrong. Woo! Listen, he is very important. You know why he's important? He's actually, his role just became better. He just became actually a tad bit more important. Why?
Okay.
Because he carries the football, and we have no running backs right now that can really figure it out like that. And his role in the backfield is going to become big time.
This cat can't
Now,
even-
I will say that him and Deshaun Watson got some chemistry issues right now. We see it all in the OTAs and off seasons about these guys linking up. It has not manifested on the field yet. And I don't know what that is. But you need to figure it out because you're making me look bad right now. And I don't appreciate people that make me look bad. So I'm doubling down that by the end of this season, it's 14 games left. He still will be a really top wide offensive weapon for the Browns.
He's out here getting robbed by cat burglars.
They took it from
Maybe
him.
not the top.
He was they little boys.
They held him up.
They really
It's a
little.
long way to go.
Thank you,
They're
Bull.
still
Back me
developing
up.
chemistry. That being said, the guy underwhelmed in New York.
Yeah.
He came here and everybody decided he was going to be a star here.
Right.
And right now he looks like the same inconsistent player that he was in New York.
He's a younger David Njoku at a different position.
Dang.
But to be fair to him, we have to give him more than
Wait a minute. Where am I wrong? Tell me where I'm wrong.
Well, David Njoku's been here 6 years.
I said younger.
Right, but
So we obviously doesn't have the years
What
that
the
Njoku
difference
has.
is-
But the Browns have been intoxicated by what Njoku could be.
Yeah.
What could he be?
He had-
So much so, they made him the third highest paid tight end in the NFL. Despite
right, but
the fact-
Elijah Moore's not getting paid that amount of
Not
money.
yet. No, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that's why I said younger.
Yeah.
It's a few years from where Njoku is now. The Jets looked at him originally and said, this guy's can't miss. He's dripping with talent. And they finally gave up on him, and we got him, and we're like, what did we just get our hands on here?
In fairness,
and we haven't seen it
we
yet.
haven't seen it yet. He's probably on pace for 800 yards. I mean,
Wait,
that's-
can we see his yards?
Steve, go back to season stats. Go up one.
he's
No.
over 100 yards, right? So
He has 128 yards in 3 games, which averages about 40 yards per game. So 40 times 17
It's 680.
is 680, give or take.
all right, so a little short.
Now I'm gonna say I'll
What
say
was
this.
you expecting them to have?
Hold on. Now
After you call him the most important wide receiver on the team, 1,000.
now
What is Amari's numbers on the year?
some of us
lot more than
said,
that.
some of us all off season said when they came up for Jerry Jeudy, yes. When it came up for DeAndre Hopkins, yes. To me, still, if you extrapolate over the long haul and you look at what the Browns have, you have DPJ, question mark. You have Elijah Moore, Question mark.
Well, we said this.
And
We know that.
Njoku, question. Here's my
we
point.
said this.
Yeah.
We said this back then.
He wanted to go with some proven production.
But I told you when I was like, I can see. I make the argument for both. I see why the Browns feel like they don't need to, but I also on the other side see why they do need it.
It's too small a sample size right now. The Browns' passing game was pretty much non-existent the first 2 weeks. It's not like Amari Cooper had big numbers until this past week, and we can't write off Elijah Moore.
No,
he's not been impressive through 3 weeks, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready
We're
to
not
write
writing
him off.
them. We're not writing them off.
Way too early for that.
What we're saying is, if I'm looking at down the line, and I say the Browns got a lights out defense, the thing that you say is now you're going to have to manufacture something in the running game. I don't think you're going to just be able to hand it to one person and they're going to get you what Nick Chubb got you. No. So now you're looking at it, if you're looking offensively, if you're a team, a top-notch team, you come in and you play the Browns, you say, well, okay, well, here's what we do. We take Amari Cooper out, and we're going to see which one of these other Jags is going to beat us.
Yeah.
And that's what
That
should have been the game plan anyway.
Well, but they had two. You had
A-list
going
weapons.
into the
They
season.
had two A-list weapons, is what you're trying to say, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that they could have gone out and
You had
tracked
two.
down.
You had two guys.
like D-Hop having a
Everybody,
great
all
season
their
either.
skill position guys are average or below,
Yes.
except for Amari Cooper.
Yes.
But they had two. They had a superstar in Nick Chubb, and they had a very good wide receiver
Yes.
in Amari Cooper. Now you don't have that superstar. Now all you have in terms of what's better than average, at least proven, is Amari Cooper.
Well, let me ask you
That's
this.
it.
Tyvis, you can start. How can the Browns get more for more?
Well, I think now that we don't have a running game, you got to get involved.
I don't think we don't know that they don't have a
Okay,
running
no,
game.
excuse me.
That's
This is not
overstating.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
though.
right,
It's,
right.
Now
that there's
you don't
available
have
carries,
that. You don't have that fallback.
Sure thing,
at
yeah.
running back. So what do? You throw some bubbles and you throw some jailbreaks to get the ball in his hands because right now him and Deshaun don't have their timing together on the routes. Right. He's not running the routes crispy.
Does that surprise you? Because we heard how much they were working together.
Yeah, it does actually. It makes me upset actually because. Again, I stood on the
He was at
fence.
practice.
Yeah, they look so good in practice, but I guess Allen Iverson is right. Anyways, I think just getting the ball in his hands, since they can't get the timing down on the routes, just get the ball in his hands. He is short, he is elusive, so get the ball in his hands and get him in space and allow him to make people miss.
Does it? So this is why nowadays, I don't know if this is a thing. It seems like there's a thing in the NFL where you go into bigger corners, right? You got bigger guys at 6'2". Sometimes I look at guys that are smaller in stature, like Elijah
They give you the
Moore.
worst problems.
Well, here's the thing. If you're not precise, he has a very small catching radius.
He does.
There's a couple plays in the first game or first few games where he had his hands and his feet was in there. It's like, 6 inches to the left. He would have got 2 feet down. He'd have been good.
Yeah.
But it just seems like he has a very low catching radius. So, if Deshaun Watson is not pinpoint accurate, he's not going to get the catch and runs. He's not going to be able to get his feet in
To your
bounds.
point, Amari helps Deshaun on some of his throws.
Yes, he does.
His throws that are just a little, and that's what you need a great receiver to
course.
do that.
Yeah.
You need his catch radius to be big. You need him to have great hands in spots where others might not catch the ball. It's early. Certainly not going to write him off. I don't know that it's worked in the run game. They've already tried a couple of jet sweeps and these double reverses. Teams aren't buying that in 2023. They're just
I don't
not.
know. You can't just give up on it. You got to try some things.
I like
You have to keep
the reverse
trying,
flea flicker screen to him. I like that. He got
And
10.
he had 4 guys out in front of him. I thought this could go for a long way.
Yeah, I thought
he had that
you
whole bubble out in front.
Who do you trust most as a pass catcher on the Browns besides Amari Cooper?
I don't know. I'd
Right
say
now,
DPJ.
you had to pick.
I'd say DPJ,
DPJ.
but he's kind of mid. Like he's not. He hasn't.
Well, they're all mid. That's the
yeah.
thing. I
So, but
mean-
if you're asking me who's the top of the
David
mid,
Bell.
We didn't even see him. We didn't even
Anthony
see
Schwartz.
They-
I got a crazy
they-
Did
stat for
anybody
you
even
guys.
put Anthony Schwartz on is he even on a practice squad?
I don't
No,
think
I
he
don't
is.
think
so. No, he's not.
I don't know that he's on a roster. I hadn't seen that
Well,
anybody.
he's definitely
picked
not
him
on a
up.
roster. I didn't know if he was on a
No,
practice
a
squad.
roster. I don't know
Yeah.
that anybody picked him up.
No, I don't
Which
think
is
so.
rare for a third-round
He
pick.
cleared waivers.
3 years later to clear
Yeah.
waivers after being cut. Nobody saw anything.
Yeah, well, nothing.
I got
ahead,
a
Mike.
crazy stat for you guys on Elijah Moore. This is from ESPN or NFL's Next Gen Stats newsletter. This came out this morning. Let me read this. Steve, you can take tagboard full. It's going to be small on tagboard, so listen to the words so you can see this as well. Elijah Moore took advantage of 8.0 average yards of cushion at the line of scrimmage, tied for 7th most, to average a league high 5.9 average yards of separation on Sunday. That said, Moore was almost exclusively targeted at or behind the line of scrimmage, averaging 0.9 average targeted air yards, which tied for the lowest. In fact, Moore only had a 3.85% of share of the Browns' air yards, lowest among all receivers. He did catch all 9 of his targets, only gained 43 yards. So I guess my question is everything in the Elijah Moore playbook right at the line of scrimmage? Is there a reason they're not actually sending him on routes deeper downfield?
G. Bush called it. G. Bush said they're just using him as an extended running game.
That's the West Coast game.
And that's what they're doing. They're using him as a wide receiver, a running back who's lining up on the line of scrimmage.
Extension in the running game. Quick little dump. If you can make a linebacker miss, there's your yards after.
But he hasn't been able to do
Well,
that.
the thing of that is, though, you know that the more he gets those kinds of touches, the more likelihood is he eventually breaks one.
I mean, we're not about to see her act like this man like 6'2" and got just long arms on. He's
No.
short, so you
I'm just
can't-
talking about he has supposed to be a breakaway game. Like, he can be that guy. He can be an explosive guy.
Let me ask you, Tommy.
So it's almost like 9 carries for 43 yards.
If you was playing against, see, like if you playing, you still got this thing in your head, right? So if you a DB and you see him play, does he scare you? Because there's certain guys
Clearly not. They're lining up 9 yards off the line of scrimmage on him.
If certain guys you come out there and play against, like, okay, he got the juice.
You saying would I be nervous?
No, would you be nervous?
No.
Oh, see, that's a problem. And Tyvus play safety.
No.
So that's safety on a receiver.
I get down there, press, step kick, and let's go ahead.
Right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Now, if I would have gave him, if I say now obviously it's different. If I say Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill,
I'm backing up.
He'd be like, yo, get somebody over here.
Let's get ready.
Now, granted,
I'm still step kicking, but let's get ready.
Like-
Let's get ready to get up out of there.
He just don't. I haven't seen that twitch.
Well, I haven't seen that burst, and I don't think he was like blazing. What was his 40? It couldn't have been like 4.3.
It was a 4.3.
Yeah, it's very
What?
fast.
Shit?
I mean, he's
Elijah
He
Moore
ain't,
came out
he
of
ain't
college.
playing 4.3.
Look,
I
I
tell
see
you
that.
that. It's a difference between running
Tyvus,
4.3
that's what I'm saying.
and playing 4.3. He ain't playing no
this explosive
4.3.
guy that you just get the ball in his hands any way you can
Well,
and let the magic happen. And so far, small sample size, we haven't seen it. It doesn't mean we won't.
You know what? We're going to see it this week. Start him on your fantasy lineups.
Yeah.
I started him.
He start him on your fantasy lineup. He's going to have approximately 110 yards. No, 112, 8 catches.
Approximately 112.
Yeah, approximately 112, 8 catches, 1 touchdown.
Watch this.
Wow.
Did you, most important wide receiver in the Browns system, did you draft him in your fantasy league?
Yeah, in 3 of my leagues I do,
that's
except for this one.
This is the only one you didn't
He
draft
took
him.
him.
I took him on his own advice.
Took him early.
All right,
He
then
took him like the 5th round.
Okay, when you're in next week, I want you to show us your fantasy results
There
and
it
how
is.
Elijah Moore led your
You should
3
have
other
it. You
teams
should
to
have him in
victory.
your lineup. Then you should be benching other receivers to put him in your lineup.
Let me look at
So
it.
Is
I
he
think
in your lineup right now?
Let me look.
I
He
think-
was in it last. I benched the running back to start him because I figured he'd have a
flex.
good. It worked. Yeah. in a
I
flex.
think what this leads us to, guys, is whether it's because of Nick Chubb's injury or because Elijah Moore feels like a disappointment through 3 weeks. I think that's unfair, but it feels that way. Do we feel the Browns need to try to go out and make a trade? Go get another frontline type of offensive skill position player.
Well, McNugget seems to think someone's
Here you
available.
go. Here you
Well,
go.
we talked about Jonathan
You see it,
Taylor.
right?
That's a perfect setup, Bull. Before we bring up
He
the
in the lineup.
report,
Okay.
All right.
Just making
before
sure.
we bring up the report, I do want to say
in the
once again
lineup.
that if you're hungry during the day, on game day, at night, DoorDash is your best friend, and we're going to help you save a little money on a $20 or less order from DoorDash. If you use promo code LOCKED at checkout, you get up to 50% off on any order, $20 and less. Promo code LOCKED at DoorDash. They deliver food to your door. You don't have to leave. Delicious food in the comfort of your home.
I think what Mike
That
meant
is
to
ideal.
say is 50% off up to $20.
That's what he meant to say.
Did I not say it this time?
You said up to 50% off.
Yeah, up to 50%
Oh, no,
off.
50% up to $20 on your order.
There you go.
Hey,
Bull alluded to
third
this.
time's a charm. He finally got it
Yes.
right.
Bull alluded to this, and there's a rumor floating around. And the only reason we gave this credence, because it came from a nobody, was LeBron James tweeted about it this morning. So when LeBron James tweets it, even though it doesn't make the rumor any more true, it makes it
LeBron has been a very credible tweeter.
Yes, but it does make it have some weight in the Cleveland online community. So to set up this discussion, a reporter named Mike Lombardo from FanBuzz, whatever that is.
Never heard of
No
him.
idea.
I haven't either.
Guy Lombardo from Fan.
He tweeted out that if the Raiders continue to lose, they may look to trade Davante Adams, who could be upset. He wants to win a ring.
See, that's complete conjecture and supposition, right?
Right. There's
Yes.
no.
I mean, because we can come up with that.
Sure,
Yeah,
but let
complete.
me ask you this. This is the better question, Mike. This is the better question. Even though it was Nick Chubb that got hurt, and you might lean towards a running back,
Yeah.
forget the contracts, because with Taylor, you'd need to
Assets and cash.
probably give up cash,
Yeah.
right?
And assets.
Davante Adams, it's cash too, because he's already got an extension. I believe you can get out of his money after 24. But let's put that to the side. Let's
Right.
put the money and what you'd have to trade to get him aside. Would you rather the Browns trade for Jonathan Taylor or Davante Adams?
That's easy. Davante Adams. Easy for me.
It's not even close. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Adams.
easy for me.
Davante Adams, dog.
That's a terrible question, boy.
Don't even ask me because it's Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it's a slam.
I'm sorry. I agree, but I thought some of you guys, because it was Nick Chubb got hurt, would say Jonathan Taylor.
Disrespected us.
That's why Bull's a panelist and not a
I wouldn't
producer. So the
even-
question is,
Give me that.
are you confident?
I'm sorry, yes. A producer brings up a rumor from some schmecklehead on Twitter.
But
No,
it's
but
hot though.
the big question is Davante Adams, obviously a long shot, probably
Yeah.
not real. It's not. It's honestly not realistic. at all.
31, he'll
But-
turn 31 at the end of the year.
and they can't get out of his money after 2024
They
without
can't?
a significant. After 2024,
Oh.
they cut him in 2024. It'd be a dead cap hit of $40 million.
No, after 24.
No, yeah,
they
if
get
you
him.
Yeah.
get him, you're
After
stuck with them
24,
for
yeah,
2
after
seasons.
24.
Well, I don't know if that stuck was
Well,
that good, but
stuck with the money.
Yeah.
We
I don't-
already.
Listen, hold on.
We got a cat. We got a bill coming in a couple of years.
it's coming.
So this is why I used to operate like this. Sometimes I used to think I was being a good fiscal husband and leave the money in the account, but I realized one thing. You know what? If you don't spend it, she will.
That's a fact.
So
and you can't take it
and
with you.
you can't take it with you.
Man.
And you look at it this way. They was talking about all that fiscal responsibility, and they gave Jack Conklin all that money, and I told you not to give it to him.
And Njoku.
And they gave Njoku all that money, and I told you.
They
and
will regret those.
and they
believe
gave
they
Jedrick
gave
Wills
Conklin
a
that
fifth
money.
year. They gave Jedrick Wills a fifth year after he was still playing terrible. So if you come to me with all kind of, well, we got to be responsible, I don't care about none of that, because you just spending it on players that
was
ain't
good.
even going to be here.
That was
Yeah, but
so
G-
reckless.
Let's go to purgatory.
At some
Take
point,
me.
though, bankruptcy's looming.
Hey,
Guess
hey,
what?
who-
Guess what?
And I don't mean that
One
obviously in a
Super
literal
Bowl
sense.
in history is worth
But
it.
Jason Lloyd on our text chain this morning, did he drop that on The Athletic? I think he
It is out. It is
So
officially
he published a piece this morning about the inevitability
It's coming.
of the bill coming due.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And I'll tell you why you got to
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Do you want your window to be 1 year or 4 years?
I just want to win
I
one.
just want one ring. That's
Here's
all I
what's-
need.
Here's what's coming.
I just want
Here's what's
one.
read Jason's piece. He lays it out in terrifying language what's coming for this franchise.
But when? When is it coming?
He said 2
before
years.
the 24, yeah, two
2
seasons.
years.
Okay. Well,
So what I'm saying is you're shrinking your window. Now I'm in on the all in. I wasn't early.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. All in means all in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at some point there will be a reckoning where our cap situation is going to be so strapped we're going to be the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. With
And
Matt Ryan.
Now, if you win the Super Bowl, it's worth it.
the Eagles
Yeah.
have
Bring
the
it.
same thing.
The
with
Rams.
The
But-
Rams.
I look.
Does Davante Adams make this team a Super Bowl contender?
Yes.
They're Super Bowl contender
hold
now.
on.
Yes.
Well, it's
yes,
the only
he
month
does.
that breaks
I
out.
think
They're
they
Hold
2-1.
on. If what we saw from Deshaun Watson last Sunday
Yes.
Who he
is
is?
who he is,
Yes.
they're already
But
a Super
I've
Bowl
seen
contender.
8 games where he didn't look like
But
that.
then we've also seen 30, 40 games where he did look like that in
right.
Houston.
So I don't know what we're getting. You know, we got
We don't know.
this, we got
We
this,
don't
we got
know.
this.
I'm trade. Listen, they can have DPJ and what would a fourth maybe?
What are you, insane?
But you think
Fourth
they're
for
going to
Davante
take?
Adams?
Yeah,
No.
he wants out. I'm not giving up no first.
Well, you have to.
No, that's not happening.
You're not getting them for a fourth.
That's not happening.
You can get him for a 2 or 3.
I don't know that you get him for anything less than
DPJ in the
one.
2.
At
I'm not
30
giving.
I don't care
What
numbers.
When does we get our first back? When is our
It's
first?
the last year.
2025.
Yeah, we don't have. No, wait. No, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true.
2024. Sorry,
Yeah,
2024.
that's
next year.
2024.
Next year.
Next
Yeah.
year.
I ain't giving up that
Hey,
one.
listen, I'm going to tell you.
No, the Browns.
Wait, no,
the Browns
you
do not
are
have
right.
a first-round pick in
Yeah, they
2024.
do not have a
It's
first-round pick in
2025.
24. They gave up 3 for Deshaun.
It's
So in
2025.
25, they do get their first-round pick. But here's the thing. Do you want to go mortgage that pick?
Yes.
You want to say?
I'm not giving up the first.
I'm not either.
I'm getting. They can get DPJ in a
I would.
second.
So let me just look.
Yeah.
What's the?
When's the last time the Browns
You picked somebody in
got
the
a
first
useful
round that was
first-round
good.
pick?
Myles Garrett was pretty good.
Like that's
That's
number
it. That's
one.
a while ago.
Nick Chubb was pretty good.
That's
He
number
wasn't a
2.
first-round pick.
That's a
Wasn't
2
he-
second round
wasn't he-
pick.
wasn't he
Second.
laced? What
Second.
was
Chubb
it?
was a second-round
pick.
What was his, where'd he go? 34?
I think he was 42nd.
But it wasn't a
Who
first-round
was
pick.
our
thought it was
last
earlier.
first
I thought
round
it was earlier.
pick?
You
Don't tell me shit.
You drafted 2 defense. You drafted.
You got Newsome, you got Jed Wills,
You drafted a nose tackle and a center. You drafted Cam Irving with a first round pick.
You
What
drafted
are you talking
Njoku
about?
in the first round. You drafted Jabril Peppers in the first round.
And you ain't giving up.
You drafted Justin Gilbert in the
Where was
first
Brandon
round.
Whedon taken?
You
First
drafted
round.
Brandon Whedon in the first round.
Manziel.
You drafted Johnny Manziel in the first
Trent
round.
Richardson.
You drafted
No,
Baker
Manziel-
Mayfield in the
Manziel
first
wasn't
round.
first round.
Listen.
Manziel was
Manziel
first
first
round.
round.
My
Yes.
only issue is
He was their second pick in the first
Oh
round.
yeah, that's
but
right. He
was
wasn't their
first
first
round
pick, but he was in the first round.
What is his contract? Davante Adams' contract?
It's not actually not that bad the next 2 years.
It's
It's huge.
So
after
it's
that.
2 years after
Who
this.
cares?
Yeah.
He's Davante Adams.
31 years old, too.
He's not 31 yet. He'll be 31 at the end of the year.
I'll tell you
No,
this.
I'm sorry. That makes
He's-
it that much better.
He's playing.
Wait, his numbers are pretty good.
No, it's not
Pretty
because
good.
He's 1A and 1B
He's still one
with
of the
Justin
best.
Jefferson
Dude,
in the
he's
league.
got
That's the league.
350 yards with a bum quarterback. Are you
got
kidding
it.
me?
He's not a.
Oh,
Jimmy G is a bum. Let's
he's
get
killing.
out of here.
Yeah, he killing it.
Extrapolate this. If he does this the rest of the season, what would it look like?
Give me 1 sec, G. I'm on it.
This
1,700
This
yards.
crazy. That's nuts. And by-
17 touchdowns, 1,700 yards.
And I tell
He's
you,
got
He's
2
on pace
years.
for 1,850 yards and 17 touchdowns.
now the Raiders
Playing with a bum quarterback.
yeah, but also what are they?
Second
0-3?
hey,
And I think they've been down in some games where they've been slinging it
You
around a
think
lot.
it's going to take a first round pick?
Yes,
I say
no
second.
question.
I say
You're
second.
not
You
getting
get
him
a
without a first round pick. I don't. See,
Se-
why would the Raiders do that?
Why not a second, though?
They'll
Somebody's
take
going to be dumb.
He
Well,
won.
somebody's going to be aggressive enough to give up a first.
That's
well,
That's
I don't-
very true.
So how are we going to get him?
Here's my thought.
Listen, we don't develop receivers well.
when we
that
talk,
type of thing. We ain't had a receiver like
when
that
when we
ever.
talk about windows, I caution everybody. Here's how quickly and fickle windows are. You told us, Cleveland Guardians, that our window was open forever because we had the coach. Turns out that those windows don't. Turns out
coaches go.
that the window just disappears. You know, I ain't doing this no more. See how quickly windows close real quick? Like, you can't just project.
right.
Hey, we don't got to spend no money and make no tough moves because if all we need is some pitchers and Tito, and we'll be great. And then Tito says, listen, by the way, we're not going to do this no more.
I know you're saying it's a 2, but you would give up a 1 for Davante Adams. would
So
you not?
I don't care about these picks.
Someone's given up a 1.
Yes,
for
that's
him.
what I'm saying. I would do
so
it.
you have to.
I would
obviously,
too.
We're looking at it from.
I'm about to say, I'm sitting here thinking about it. I might give up to 1 now.
Damn right.
But here's the other problem with that. Someone's going to offer the Raiders a 1 next year. We're offering the Raiders a 1 in 2025.
Well, I mean, that's
like
what are you
that's
gonna
not
do?
very sexy if you're the Raiders.
Take
Change my life
take
now.
DPJ.
Okay, throw in DPJ. That's going to really
That
make
has no
that.
value.
Now the Raiders are a contender.
You got somebody right now.
By the way,
Warm body.
They can hold you off to
I
that
still
gap for that year.
No, G, I got to say something real quick.
I take Jerry Jeudy still too.
I got to say something just to show you guys the value of DPJ on this set. In the last month alone, we have offered up, someone on this panel, or in this production, has offered up a 4th and DPJ for Aaron Donald and Davante Adams.
That was
Both those
Earl. That was
packages
the
have
worst
been
trade
offered.
ever
Nah,
on the
Next
show.
time, fam. Just at me next time.
Earl offered a 4th
I
and
can't hear you.
DPJ
What is
for
Earl
Aaron.
saying? I can't hear
He
it.
said at me next time, so I will at Earl. Earl
Earl,
offered,
that was the worst trade.
That's
offer
not
ever.
good. That would
Hey, I
never
was
happen.
sick that day, boy. I was watching. I was tearing my ass up when I was at home, too.
I was sick.
Got the sick excuse.
You had delusionitis, is what you had.
So what's real quick, and we'll end with this. What's more likely to happen? What team's more likely to accept a 4th and DPJ? The Raiders for Adams or the Rams and Donald?
No.
Neither.
That's the answer to that one. No.
Neither.
Oh my gosh, dog. You can't get Brian Brennan for that.
Hey, are there any Earl? Are there any houses for sale on Fantasy Drive?
I got to check, Jay.
Because I want to
for
move
sure,
in
I'll
your
let you know.
neighborhood. I really want to live in your
Let me
neighborhood.
ask you guys a question. His first 2 years in the league.
Who?
I'm getting to it. What?
Can we get a bib out here for T-Boy?
Yo, wildin' out.
Can we get a bib?
Yo, wildin' out, bro.
You look like Bull after the Bengals lost their
my
season opener
God.
last year.
Yo, wildin' out.
Tua, guys, is who I'm talking about. Jay, how did Tua look his first 2 years in the league?
Under Brian Flores? Terrible.
Flashes of brilliance, but overall
bad.
Overall, 2 thumbs down.
Do you think Tyreek Hill played a big role in Tua looking
did
great?
he ever? Did he ever?
Okay,
Yeah.
I know that Davante Adams is a different type of receiver than Tyreek Hill.
He is,
but
he can have a similar impact.
But he's like Tyreek Hill, one of the 5-6 best receivers in the entire National Football League. This is not Jerry Jeudy, who I like.
Yeah.
This is not DeAndre Hopkins, who has shown some signs of decline. Davante Adams has shown 0 signs of decline, and he is still clearly one of the best wide receivers in football. Listen, I don't know that the Browns are going to do it, but you're already in this situation where you're going to have to pay the piper. You might as well go all in. And Davante, if you told Deshaun Watson he could have Davante Adams, when this team, listen, I don't care what you do at running back. They're now more than ever a passing team. If you could get him, your passing game goes to another level.
I
without
agree
a doubt.
with you, but this Lombardo character,
This guy.
take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, no
Who is he talking
legitimacy.
to?
The other suitors are Dallas, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Detroit, and Green Bay.
Okay, that
Now-
makes no sense.
Why would Cincinnati-
Look,
why
he's
would Cincinnati
spitballing.
trade for him?
This guy
Doesn't
is
make any sense.
spitballing
Yeah.
for
Why would he
sure.
go back to Green Bay?
But here's why would any team trade for him? Because it takes a team that's already a contender and maybe makes them a favorite.
Right, but
so everybody would like to have him, but
Sure.
what it comes down to is the reality is who has the most to offer. And I'm just saying, of these teams, they've all got firsts that they can throw in the next draft, and you don't have to wait until 2025.
Well, those teams he brought up don't make any sense. They're not the Bengals.
Well, they'd all like him.
The Bengals, of
Hell,
course.
all 31 teams would like
I
him.
know, but the Bengals have
They don't-
already have a top 5 wide receiver.
I don't know why
They're
they
not
want
gonna
to
trade.
add another.
I mean, yes, in theory,
But it would make
everybody
them-
would want him.
Yeah, so
but
I just don't think we
yes,
have the
you
capital
may
to
be
get him.
right. Sure,
I don't think we have the capital.
Somebody
to
would
get him.
offer a first rounder this year. That's true.
Okay, so where are we going?
We're going to move real quickly. This could be a very quick discussion. Before we do that, if you are in the chat, if you're watching the show, we've gone over 1,000 likes on back-to-back shows. I can't say thank you guys
Oh,
enough. It
y'all
does
cool.
wonders. Shout out to the chat.
we make it 3 in a
Shout out to
row?
the people.
Can we
That's what
get
I'm asking.
3?
Can we make it 3 in a row? If we get 5 in a row, it guarantees a Browns victory on Sunday. So if you're in the chat, if you're watching, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It does wonders for us on the back end. We really, really appreciate you guys. Yesterday, the Browns signed 2 players to their practice squad, running back Deshaun Jackson and tight end Devin Asiasi, I believe.
CC.
Asiasi is how you pronounce it.
No, I think it's Asiasi.
Asiasi, right.
Asiasi.
Sorry, I should have known that.
Very quickly, guys, they're both practice squad signings. Do you believe either can have an impact on this team in 2023?
This is an embarrassing question.
In any way.
It's an embarrassing question, Mike, that you've even asked that.
Yeah.
By the way,
3-minute topic.
I'll give you the backgrounds on both guys.
Thank you.
Deshaun Jackson was actually the Week 1 starting running back for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep. Right.
Believe it or not.
I picked him up
That's
on
because
fantasy.
Jonathan Taylor was on the PUP list.
And Zach Moss was hurt.
Right.
Right. He's played a handful of games.
He was terrible in that first game, and then they thought so much of him, he went from their starter to being cut by the third week. Devin Asiasi was originally drafted by the Patriots, and then he played for the Bengals last year as their third tight end.
Did he make a difference at all?
No, he did not.
He has 4 career catches.
No, he's a blocking tight end.
Yeah.
Neither one of these players will play a role.
Are we trying to lead the league in tight ends?
They
I think if that's our goal, we're doing it.
That, and I just
You know
They
why?
spot
You know
shadow
why
Harrison
the Browns
Bryant.
are upset that they don't have a first-round pick this year?
why?
Well,
Because the
obvious.
tight end from the George is coming out.
Oh, and
we
they
ain't
could
gonna
take
be-
him in
we
the
ain't
first
gonna be able to get him.
Yeah.
Very
Rock
rare.
bottoms.
By the way, speaking of tight ends, very rare that a tight end makes an impact as a rookie. But this Sam Laporta in Detroit is off to a great start.
Wow.
Yeah.
You almost never see
No,
a
in fact,
tight
we've
end
had some
as a rookie.
super hyped tight ends come into the NFL
Kyle
recently.
Pitts.
Done nothing.
Pitts was supposed to change
He
lives.
don't have a quarterback.
Well,
Right.
he is
Kinda
not.
right.
I mean, it's been awful. for him.
Dalton Kincaid for Buffalo.
Anyone
hasn't
else,
done
real
nothing.
quick? before
I
we
don't
get true or
think any
false?
of these
None
guys
of
are
them?
going to move the meter at
No,
all.
not at
I just
all.
don't. I don't
Next.
see it
They're
happening.
not. Neither one's going to be on the active roster unless a bunch of guys get hurt.
That's a fact.
That's-
Yeah.
Easy money. All right, we're going to move on and play true or false. Before we do
Yes.
that, on Fridays, 12:31, we are on Channel 3, WKYC. We are on Real TV. We did some really awesome
We're on
numbers last
Real
week.
TV.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope you guys tune in again. It is 30 minutes of brand new, never before seen Browns, Ravens preview content. Nothing we touch during the YouTube part of the show gets put into the TV version, and then we do post it back on the back end if you can't see it on TV. But we hope you join us on WKYC to watch. It's been a lot of fun. Coach Tyvis, we had last week. We're going to do something a little different this week, but a lot of new content. Make sure you tune in. That is Friday, 12:30 to 1. And with that, it is time to play true and false, guys. The first time we've had all four people in the building in 2023. So far, the leaderboard. Tyvis has a win, and Bull has a win. We're
go.
scrapping the record. It is 1-1-0-0. And today's feature of True and False is on the Browns' newest running back, Kareem Hunt. Are you guys ready
Newest
to play
old
True or
running back.
False on the Cleveland native?
Do it.
Yes, let's do
Let's
it.
go. Question number 1, Steve. Let's take it. Despite rushing for 5,204 yards and 83 touchdowns in his final 2 seasons at South Willoughby High School, that part is true. That is completely true. Hunt was rated as the 118th best running back in his senior year recruiting class. True or false?
The false part is not the number. Like, it's not 117 versus 118, is it?
It could be.
Could be. That's lame.
True for Tyvis. True for
Tyvis, I hate
G.
you.
Tyvis says
You're right. I do hate you.
I can't read what Tyvis points at that camera. We can't see that camera, Tyvis. Jay's
Muni
little
League trophy is cute.
true. False for Bull and true for Jay. So 3 trues. If the trues are right, then Bull, you're off to a disappointing start. And the answer, it is true. He was the 118th running back in his class.
Toledo.
Points around the board except for Mr. Bull.
Right, you're not gonna act like you didn't go to Toledo.
Shout out
it
to
had
the
to
Glass
do-
Bowl.
I thought that had to do with some off the field stuff.
Yeah, shout out to the Glass Bowl. You're right.
Shout out to the Glass Bowl.
All right, question number 2.
Toledo's got a good little program.
Kareem Hunt rushed for 1,000 yards in each of his 4 college seasons at the University of Toledo.
You did a piece on this.
Did a piece on this. Was at most of his games for all 4 years.
False for Tyvis, false for Jay, false for Bull, and true for G. Bush. If this is true, G's in the lead. The answer, it is false. He had 973 his junior season. He missed
Bull.
a couple games due to injury.
Corny.
Go on. Even though I got it right, I agree with G that that's corny.
Corny, bro. That's
Next up, true or false, Kareem Hunt ran a 4.6 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. Is that true or is that false? A 4.6 40-yard dash.
I'm gonna go with true in this.
He ain't no burner.
Hey, listen, and this is disrespectful because Jarvis Landry won a 4.7.
I don't know the answer.
I'm gonna go with true.
You don't.
I don't.
I did a story on this.
False for Bull, false for Tyvis, true for J and G. The answer, it is true. Ran a 4.6.
Hey, yo.
Who's in first right now by themselves?
Anthony, score update, please.
Jay,
Wow,
you were in the lead with 3.
Very convenient.
G and Ty are tied at 2. Bull has 1.
Very convenient that the score update only comes when Jay gets the lead. Very.
He had to do a
They
story
go
on
to
it.
it quick.
Very.
Score update immediately.
It fixes in. That's all I'm saying.
Update.
I'm sad we don't get the Mikey McNuggets parlay odds no more.
We'll add those back next week. I'd forgotten. All right, question number 4. Kareem Hunt finished his first career NFL game with 246 total yards from scrimmage, the most ever in an NFL debut.
Now that most ever in the debut is
Well,
is,
it's got to be all true or all false.
right.
Oh, I did a story on that.
Tyvis says false. Jay says true. Bull says false. G says true. The answer. Jay must have really done
No, I did. I did Sports Center the next morning.
He had 148 yards rushing, 98 yards receiving as the Chiefs. Did they win that game, Jay? Do you remember?
I think they did, yes.
They smoked the Patriots.
Yes. Now, and I'll say this.
Why do you have Mark so
I don't get cheated, because one time I got cheated. I don't trust you guys. I have never seen a scramble in fantasy football to get a player after 1 week than I did Kareem Hunt, because he was on nobody's roster.
Did anybody else put in a waiver claim for Devin A-Chain yesterday?
I drafted him. Last pick in my draft.
I'm talking about in our league.
No, I don't know about our league.
I got him back. I had cut him after last week.
So you drafted him too.
And I'm like, how the hell?
Yeah, okay.
And I cut him after week 2, but I had the first waiver claim.
What's the waiver claim? What's the waiver claim?
It goes by record, G, and we're both undefeated.
So that's when it's good to suck.
Yeah, McNuggets hilarious.
Yeah, I'm off to a bad start. I'm 1-2.
But you did that last year. I'm not counting you out.
It is me versus G this week in a battle
just
of
like the
unbeatens.
NFL. You win in
A battle of unbeaten.
You do.
January.
50-50 split right now, McNuggets. I just lost.
Am I kind of running
Mike
away
Williams.
with this right now?
No,
No, it's a 3-way tie at 3-0 right now.
No, not fantasy.
I believe you're up 1 on G
Yes.
Bush, correct? Are you up?
Oh,
1
you
on
said
G?
You're only up
also?
1 on G.
Okay.
Yeah, so real quick.
Don't spit
from
that
right
out.
to left. J, 4, G, 3, Tyvis, 2, Bull, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Been a rough start.
Right
here.
around the.
Let's go. Long way to go.
Long way to go.
Most second finishes
3
of all
questions left?
time.
I believe so. 3
4.
questions left.
There's 4 questions left.
4 questions left. Sorry, we're halfway through. Next up, Kareem Hunt has one son, who he named Kareem Jr.
This could be real.
By the way,
tricky.
you can tell that Mike is not married by the way he asked that question. Because if you were married, you wouldn't say who he named.
Oh,
You'd
yeah,
say
you're right.
They named,
Yeah.
whatever.
Fair. Yeah, I'm not married, so that is accurate.
Have you guys seen the videos going around in TikTok and all that where wives are telling the husband, wow, have you heard of this new football player, Travis Kelce? They're acting now like they know that he exists because he's dating. But they're really funny. There's a lot of them out there.
The answer is false. Kareem Hunt is Kareem Hunt Jr. His father is Kareem Hunt Sr.
Wow.
He also has no kids.
Oh, so you got it.
I have to just pick against you guys at this point. So to
Yeah, you do.
I'm back. Now I'm screwed.
So you stay one behind me.
Yeah.
Did you get that right?
I'm officially eliminated from contention.
Wouldn't you
I
like
do believe Bull's
I'm
eliminated.
having a bad week.
You are the new Bill Plaschke.
Jay, if you know this
Big
next
time
one,
insult, by the
That
way.
is, right?
That makes me Woody Page.
Yeah.
you do kind of look like Woody.
I love Woody.
Well, who's
I
Jay
worked with Woody for a long
Woody
time.
Jay
actually, by the way,
Mariani?
Woody was the
Woody-
first guy
Uh,
that ever helped me out when I was in college.
But
Really?
I'll tell you a story later. It's not.
But Woody should have taken advice from Terry Francona and know when to leave.
Yeah, might be at the party for a touch
Yeah.
too long, perhaps. Speaking of Terry Francona, he wasn't in the rundown today. That's a miss by us.
It's on tomorrow. We're gonna
Well,
see.
today's his last home game, so I'll just take a second here. If you want to see Francona manage as a Guardian again, you better go out to the game tonight because this is it.
You
And
going?
also, our boy is
Jerry
throwing out the
Ferrara.
first
Oh,
pitch.
Jerry, yeah.
So get to the game tonight, please, and let him know how much you appreciate him.
And this is crazy.
Awesome.
This just seems
Awesome, man.
They just don't sit. It just don't.
I don't
it
love
sit
it.
right with me,
To
man.
end his tenure
That's
with
it.
this.
I don't know
In
what the question
awful
is.
It is
season.
11 years as manager. The Guardians Indians made the playoffs 6 times.
Yeah.
In the previous 11 seasons, they made it once. Get
And
ready
their
for
worst
life after
record
Tito.
before this year with him was 80 and 82.
That's right. He'll finish lower than that this year, obviously. But
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
we got Haz coming up in a second. He's
Yeah.
in here, so we're going to finish
Go
this
ahead.
up here. Next question. Kareem Hunt's first career game as a member of the Browns came against the Buffalo Bills.
I really don't know that answer. So, did you do a piece on
True
this?
for G, false for Tyvis.
I got a whole. I wrote
Jay
it
is
10
switching
minutes
his
ago.
answer.
No, I thought I knew it, but I don't, and so this is the guess.
Jay says true. Bull says true. 3 trues, 1
gonna
false.
say
The
the
answer. The undefeated streak continues, Jay.
6-0, baby.
Has anybody ever gone 8-0?
I don't think so.
This is like taking a perfect game in
but-
like the
think
7th
so.
inning.
But the pitcher you going against.
I know it's 1-0.
G's only got.
I know.
G's
I
got
could give up
5.
a 2-run homer and lose.
According to the UCSS Stats and Info Department, Jay was 7-0 once and got the last question wrong last year.
Yes, I remember that.
So
Did
let's see if
you?
he can
I
do it.
won,
He's
but
6-0.
I didn't get the perfect game.
All right, 2 more.
Want it.
Next up.
It's 2. I thought it was 1.
Next up, Kareem Hunt dropped a four-song EP in college called The Chronicles of Kareem, in which he rapped about growing up in the suburbs of Cleveland.
I don't.
He ain't even that type of guy.
G and Tyvis say false.
I don't recall that.
Of course you wouldn't.
I thought I would have done a
says
story
true.
on that at some point.
Jay says pause.
No, it's false.
It does say Paul.
It looks a little
It
like
does
balls.
look like false, but it says false.
Okay, so 3 falses and a true for both. The answer is false.
Uh-oh, he takes the perfect game into the ninth.
Jay, the pressure's on here.
I know it is.
Pressure's on. Real quick, score.
Don't drop a bunt to try to break up the perfect game.
Gee, you got to go opposite Jay. Really.
You have to.
All right, so Jay's at 7-0. G has 6. Tyvis has 4, and Bull has 2.
I'm the Phil Mickelson of this thing.
Damn,
Phil Mickelson coming in second. Let's see what we got.
All right, for all the marbles, a perfect game or a tie.
Or I could win it if we guessed the same.
Fair. Kareem Hunt rushed for 5 touchdowns in the 2015 GoDaddy Bowl against Arkansas State, which at the time tied an NCAA record held by Barry Sanders.
You did
Just help
He
by
should have
Barry
did a piece on this. It doesn't matter to me. I'm eager to see what you say.
G says false.
Oh boy.
I hate Jay. Just give it to Jay. He wins. He's 8-0. We're gonna celebrate his baseball prowess. This is a terrible, bad job out of me. I'm gonna make these questions so freaking hard next week. I just got taken out to the woodshed. That was not good. I'm sorry to the viewers. I didn't know he did a story. How was I supposed to know Jay and Kareem Hunt are boys?
I did a lot of stories.
Are you serious?
Did a lot of stories. All I can say.
95% is luck.
Jay was
And then you said, sometimes you said, I did a story, and I said, in that case, it's skill.
Come on, man. You know
Just
Jay was part of the legal team. Jay got all the people, bro. He know who. He's part of unofficial yacht boy. This guy, man, just. Why you think Kareem Hunt's back here and we don't have Jonathan
That's
Taylor?
right. Let's bring in DJ Hazmat. I can't wait to see this video. Do you have
We got a banger. Before we bring in Haz, I just got to tell everybody our last fast read of the day. We have a post-game show every week, guys, and it is not only just a post-game show, it is the single biggest post-game show in the entire city of Cleveland. G. Bush, myself, Earl, it's not close. The numbers back it up.
Yep.
Check out, tune in, 2-minute warning. We are live every week. It's either a celebration or a therapy session. We don't pick it. The Browns decide how it goes, but it is a lot of fun. Every 2-minute warning, 17 times this season, and hopefully many, many more in the playoffs. 2-minute warning, myself, G. Bush, Earl. Check it out. And with that, let's welcome in our resident DJ, the man with all the bars, and this week a redemption song for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
It is DJ Hazmat.
DJ.
Hey, you was on Source Magazine. They was hot.
What?
They was hot at you. They said you going at Deshaun Watson ass. What's going on?
Hey, man, look. Deservedly so, and what happened at Monday night, I'm still upset about that. We should be 3-0 right now. But
DJ, we have been asking the question all week, what changed? And none of us gave the obvious answer. He was called out by Haz, and he stood the hell up.
That's true.
And he got tired of hearing. He's like, hey, I'm taking friendly fire right now. I'm taking fire from one of my own. I got to step up and do something.
Hey.
And he did.
hey, these videos go a lot of places. He don't want a season full of me having to get on him like that. You know what I'm saying? You want these songs, want these raps to speak about him in a positive light. Nah, it really just, I guess starting to click for him. And, thankfully we were playing the Titans. And, I did get on Deshaun's case. And like I told everybody that got sensitive about it, don't be mad at the song. Worry about what's going on that field. But I'm happy, very pleased to be able to bring you a song about Deshaun Watson
wait to hear it.
redeeming himself. And,
And anybody that criticized him last week is an idiot.
Yeah.
No,
After the performance. Criticize DJ.
criticize.
I know.
Yeah, because he called it like it is.
That's right.
And with
Sean
that,
played lousy. but he
let's
played
take a
great.
listen to the Week 3 single, DJ Hazmat.
There it is.
Remember the Titans and a little Bruno Mars all in one. Let's listen.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So we tell them, we beat the Titans. We beat the Titans. The Tennessee Titans. Sunday afternoon in the land, clear skies, it was perfect weather. Our defense was looking amazing, and Deshaun was playing much better. After all the criticism we were giving him, he didn't fold from the pressure. So I gotta give credit where credit is due, and believe me, it is my pleasure. See, cause I'm an emotional diehard fan, and I don't wanna rap about losses. I'd rather talk about him throwing 2 TD passes, making no mistakes that would cost us. How we bossed up, and finally resembled the player we saw in his Houston days. Throwing for 289 and escaping like Harry Houdini, extending plays. But Kevin, I'm still on the fence with your call, and using Elijah too many ways. That double reverse, flea flicker to screen, please don't call that play in any phase. Yeah, got a first down, but who were we playing? Remember the Titans. The next reverse got shut down, so please chill with the trickeration, alright man? Cause we don't really gotta use gadget plays for this offense to be super. Referee stole one from Amari cause they were not hanging with Mr. Cooper. And Jerome Ford went for 2 scores, a run and the catch skills activated. Kareem Hunt back in uniform, it was nice to see him getting acclimated. As a Brown, it was Watson's best performance. This week he can silence all the hating. Went 27 for 33, besides that backwards pass, he was dominating. And I ripped him last song, I was hating out of frustration cause I'm tired of waiting. This week he gets an exoneration from the Monday Night Football abomination. Cause they came to the land with Tannehill, Jimmy 6 miles on him, 3.5 sacks, yeah, Garrett was getting wild on him. Alex and Agbanya made it 5-all, and Hopkins hit from 52. Our defense shining so bright. Jim Schwartz got that unit looking so nice. Stretch to the seat down, that's what we like. That's what we like. 94 total yards, that got me hype. That got me hype. Watson redeemed himself from Monday night. Just keep playing like that and we'll be alright. Okay, Deshaun, now that's more like it. Now that's more like it. Your game was on, that's how we like it. That's how we like it. Let me hear you say, everywhere we go, everywhere.
Hey, and you had, and listen, I see what you did right there. Don't act like you was harmonizing right there. You was harmonizing a little bit. Don't act like it. No auto tune. I see what you did there, Has. You've been working on your game. You like, listen, I got background singers and everything. I see what you're doing. I see you. I see you, dog.
You know what? You know what? I feel like, I went back, and if you go on my YouTube channel, Hey Has TV, you'll see all of the recaps dating back to 2019 from the very first one. And I looked back on some of the videos, and I was like, I'm getting away from, the fun part of the videos, where I sing a little, dance, put some of that entertainment in there. So we just want everybody to feel good on a week that we dominated and showed, even though none of the national media will talk about us this week for some strange reason. I'm finding it hard to see anybody on any show talking about the Browns this week, but they stay talking about the Jets, though. But anyway, I digress on that. I think it's just time for the Browns defense to get some recognition for what they are doing. Only 1 touchdown has been scored against them this whole season. Not even a total of 500 yards through 3 weeks. If they keep playing like this defense will have to get mentioned in the likes of the Ravens defense and the Bears and the Legion of Boom. This is looking like one of those type defenses. Now I know we have a new test to see how we measure up against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who's supposed to have this new offense. But I dare anybody to just sit back and try to pass on us, because you just playing right into the strength of who we are. Plus, we shutting down the run now. I mean, this was a beautiful thing. And I commend Deshaun Watson. Don't be mad at me about the other song. Just take it how it comes. And we just going to try to keep this thing moving. And hopefully we have a similar performance against Baltimore this Sunday.
What people don't know is, this is crazy, Has is low-key out there really. You spent a lot of time in Baltimore. Was really in Baltimore on the radio for years. So it's like this is a really mirror match right here. And this is the first time I've ever heard you talk about the Browns defense like you talked about the Ravens defense.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. I'll tell everybody. It's a tale of 2 cities with me. I was born in Havre de Grace, Maryland, which is north of Baltimore. I grew up in Cleveland, did all my school in kindergarten all the way through high school. I moved back to the Baltimore area, and yes, I was on the radio in Baltimore the night that they won their first Super Bowl. I was on the radio on the #1 radio station in the city, 92Q. And that's where I started my radio career in Baltimore. And back then, their local morning show used to do parody songs about the Ravens, which is where I got it from because they used to let me get involved sometimes. And so I've been rapping about football since the 90s, man. I did it on Fox commercials about the NFL coming to Fox. So this is nothing new to me to put these rap skills to these football games, but it's a pleasure for me to do it for the Browns. And hopefully we'll ride it all the way into the Super Bowl because I have Super Bowl expectations.
I can't. If that happens, I think that video of the Browns winning the Super Bowl will go gold, platinum, whatever the measurement is. It will go as viral as anything has ever gone in the Cleveland sports community.
And who would have known, Jay, that Has is 69 years old?
He's the OG.
He was rapping in 62.
And listen, I was in Baltimore when the Browns moved to the Baltimore and became the Ravens. I was there, and I have a lot of family members that are Raven fans, and so it is my other home. My father's buried in Baltimore. My grandfather's buried in Baltimore. I have huge ties to that area, but
on Sunday, all bets are off. Go Browns.
That's right. Football, they don't have my heart. They don't have my heart.
Great stuff as always.
Has great stuff. We'll see you next week, hopefully with another victory video.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Let's shut down Lamar this time. We shut down everybody else. We're going to shut Baltimore down. King Henry couldn't run on us. Who they bringing? Justice Hill? Come on, man. No problem.
Love it.
No problem. Fired up about that defense.
We'll see you next week, my man.
Thanks, Has.
Yeah, there's a lot to be fired up about that defense.
Has got
all right, Mikey.
Has got money.
We got real quick. We got 3 super chats, and then we got to look at Jay's baseball highlights from the weekend. Real quick, though, if you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. 3 of these real quick for you guys. First comes from Jonathan Mann. He said, "Gee, last time you had that hoodie on, you said your mom got it for you.
Sure did.
Do you know where it's from? It's the dopest Browns hoodie I've ever seen."
I don't know where my mom got this from. My mom also acts as my lawyer. She is my accountant and my agent. She's my stylist. So I don't know where she got it. She just pull up with Brown stuff and be like, I got this shirt. Salute. I don't know where you got it from, but I love it.
If we find that out, we will drop it in the chat. Next one comes from Bill Rodewalt. Proposed nickname for the Browns defense, the Wrecking Crew, blue collar, working town name. That was the A&M defensive nickname back in the day.
By the way,
but we don't need a nickname for the defense. We don't need it.
Yesterday, Hell's Elves. So we made fun of that. That originated on KNR, which is one of the sports radio stations in town. And Aaron Goldhammer from the Really Big Show, he texted me and he goes, "We're making that nickname."
No,
stick.
that's not stick.
And I was like, "That nickname is awful."
Grant Delpit came on the show and was like, "That's terrible."
Yeah. Oh, he did?
Oh, he did.
Yeah, if Grant Delpit says you can't do it, it's
he admitted to me later. He goes, "Yeah, it was one of Tony Rizzo's friends that came up with the idea." He says, "We loved it at first." You guys
got to handle that in the Jewish community.
Yeah,
like you handle that.
I told him I killed you on the air for that. That was stupid.
And last one comes from Terrence Bivens. He says Leroy spoke facts today. Tomlin has a history of coaching dirty players. So that was from Terrence Bivens. And with that, we have talked about it for a while. Tyvus may want to take a little power nap. But I went out to Jay's City League championship game. Jay's team had not won the championship.
It was actually game 3 of a 3-game series, but it was the deciding game.
Game 7, game 3. You guys hadn't beat this team in.
We'd beaten them in the regular season regularly, but they've beaten us in the championship finals the last 3 years.
Dang!
I know. Hey, they're a juggernaut.
Except this year,
got to win.
The Black Sox.
The Black Sox stood up.
And we have some video highlights.
Okay.
Steve, you can roll.
Footage?
I'm afraid of how he did me.
Footage?
No, listen, yesterday I put out the teaser. This one I made you look good.
Okay.
Jay. You ready? Let's watch.
hater.
No, he can hate. I can take the heat.
Congratulations.
Hey, man, what do you got to say, Tyvis? You saw what Jay was able to bring to the table, bringing a championship home to his area. What do you have to say for the people in Columbus and Powell, Ohio, and how you're going to handle this moving forward?
Well, first, what I will say about Jay winning the championship is I'm going to say something that I heard a Cleveland great say before. Okay. It's about dang time. That's first of all, because that had
it was the 3 years. The 3 years we lost to them was hard.
That had to be the slowest paced game I've ever seen in my life. Greg Popovich will be proud of what this performance they
We play slow down. We play slow down.
Because, man, every time you pitch, I could see the pain in your eyes.
Oh, let me tell you, my arm.
It was like basketball before black guys. I mean, that's what it was. Everybody's standing around.
But as a competitor, I respect you for winning it. You know, you went out there. You made some really good plays. For you to be for you to be 95 years old.
So pretty good for 58 is what you're saying. I think that's what I hear you saying.
For you to be a senior citizen and still be able to move the way you do, it's very impressive.
I'm not a senior citizen yet. Steve, can we get a shot of the hardware? I brought it in.
There it is.
The Black Sox trophy. What a great team. Managed by my cousin, Matt Brammer.
Okay.
And here's why this was so special to me. I know you make fun of it. That's real hardware there. You got your little trophy behind you.
My little trophy.
This was so special because Matt and I played Little League Baseball together, and our dads were the coaches.
Okay.
That's cool.
And we won championships together. We had a very dominant team in the Perkins Little League.
Okay.
Our dads have passed away. Mm-hmm. And when we teamed up after I moved back to Cleveland, he said, wouldn't it be nice if we could win one to honor our fathers?
Oh, okay.
Because they were both huge baseball men, great minds, great coaches. His dad was drafted by the Reds. My dad played baseball until he couldn't. And that's why it was so special to me. When Matt and I hugged after the game was over, I said, Gary and Chuck are with us. So it was nice. We won together.
Cool, Jay.
45 years ago was our last Little League championship together. And to get an opportunity to do it again 45 years later, I know it doesn't look like real baseball. I understand that. There are times where this was good baseball because they were a good team. There are times that we play where it does feel like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. But there's a saying that I love, that you don't quit baseball because you get old. You get old because you quit playing baseball.
I agree
with
that.
Just keep moving.
Is that the bat? Is that the ball from the last out?
That's the game ball. That's the game ball.
That's actually, all jokes aside, no, it is really cool. And the story behind it is very meaningful, and I respect that. I'm glad that you was able to do that. And I'm sure your father is in heaven, and they looking down and they smiling. And they probably high-fiving each other. Our boys did it.
With a beer in hand, they're celebrating and high-fiving. And just a quick second about the team. We've been the underdog because we've lost to these guys 3 years in a row, but they never gave up. We've got a terrific group of guys. Dave Kroc, our other pitcher, pitched at Ohio State. Tremendous pitcher.
Go Bucks.
We've got hitters all up and down this lineup that just really come at you. And now we'll try to defend our title.
You have to share the trophy and pass it around?
Yeah, we'll each get it for a week. We'll take it down to Florida for the national championship at the end of October.
Are you going to put this on my desk upstairs?
I will. And let me just say this. Don't let us mess around and win a national championship.
Oh, my God.
Because 2 years ago, we finished third.
Mikey's going to have to fly down to Florida.
Well, I'll bring him down. Yeah, sure, I'll fly him down.
If I'm the good luck charm, I'll take
the
a free
Lord
flight
just
to Florida.
told me that he had to put his fathers on punishment because they snuck those beers in heaven. That is a no-go. Non-alcoholic beverages only. He just told me.
It was near beer. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember those? It was near beer. But Mikey, I want to thank you for coming out to the game. I know you're precious. Your free time is precious. I know Sunday you were working. You never take a day off. So for you to come out there and waste a couple of hours on a beautiful Saturday, I appreciate it. Thank you.
It was fun. I got to hang out with Polk, his girlfriend Stephanie, and Nick Camino showed up for a little bit.
Yeah,
so
Camino was there.
Star-studded cast.
Right.
The crowd. I'm going to say this. I don't know who watches, so let's just say fans of people who support elderly men playing baseball get very into the games.
They were into it. Yeah, the crowd was into it.
Like there was a lot of trash talk going
There
back.
was a lot of trash talk
Where
between
was
the
this
sides.
played at?
Mostly at Solon. Mostly, I don't think I want to say it because that's not nice.
Yeah,
but I do want to congratulate Steve Sports on a decades-long run as the best amateur team in the Cleveland.
They've won it 10 years in a row?
They win it every year.
No
Every
kidding.
year.
And where are
Defended
they
their
from?
reign.
All over Northeast Ohio.
Okay.
And they're great guys. They're great players. I enjoy competing against them. The matchups that we've had with them over the last 4 years have all been epic.
What was the final score?
9-4.
Oh,
Oh, y'all smoked them.
But the first game, we lost game 1. We were up 1-0 the entire game. Dave pitched. They scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th. I pitched game 2. We scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th to win 4-2.
And by the way, McNuggets submitted
on
them hours
overtime.
on his timesheet too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm submitting them hours.
Damn straight.